But when I said, okay, it is a sales opportunity, right? They said, why sales? The perception in people about sales is very different, because the way they see that, it's a very pressurized job, the timings are not great, you need to travel a lot, your health will not be good, you will be always under mental pressure, right? Targets are there. What if the targets are not achieved? So lot of kind of apprehensions were going around there. And then I come to know, okay, sales is a part where even for a speaking you will get a good money out of it, right? So
Right.
meeting new people, travel, and
Right.
everything sponsored by the company,
Sahi hai.
right? I didn't know to spend anything from my own pocket.
True.
And end of the interview, he just gave me a kind of santra,
Acha.
right?
Yeah.
Orange, right? That you came all the way from Mundra to Ahmedabad.
Huh.
Maybe I cannot give you anything else, but you keep this santra with yourself.
Okay.
Right? I was puzzled that
हाँ.
what is this? Either मेरा हुआ नहीं हुआ और इन्होंने संतरा दे दिया, मतलब तुम संतरा लो जाओ. So and I told this incident to my friends. बोले गया मेरे काफी फ्रेंड्स बोले कि तूने ग्रेचुइटी कभी ली ही नहीं. So that तो मैंने बोला अगर मैं ग्रेचुइटी के लिए रुकता ना तो मैं शायद आज यहाँ तक नहीं पहुँचा होता. सिक्योरिटी इज अ वेरी ग्रोइंग इंडस्ट्री कि एज ऑन डेट ऐसे टेक्नोलॉजीज आ चुके हैं मार्केट में कि दैट विल गिव यू अ काइंड ऑफ एनालिटिक्स. दे विल एग्जैक्टली पिन पॉइंट द जर्नी ऑफ अ कंप्लीट पर्सन कि ये पर्सन अगर मॉल में एंटर हुआ वो कहाँ से कौन कौन से कैमरा से पास हुआ और कहाँ से एग्जिट हुआ. सो फॉर अ पोस्ट एनालिसिस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इट बिकम्स वेरी फास्ट.
Yeah, efficient.
I started Suprema in year 2020. This is 2025. I have given a 7x times of growth for this company. From a zero presence in terms of the technical person or the staff, I bring it to a close to 9 people team. So I established the team, processes, operations, and now we have generated multi-million-dollar business for this company.
Hello and welcome to Meet Momentum Masters. Today's guest is someone who has a very strong foundation in sales. He has a proven track record of building motivated teams that have led to multi-billion-dollar growth in the electronic security space. He has won multiple awards while working at multinational companies like Honeywell, and he's recently also been awarded by BW Security 40 Under 40 award for his impact and contribution in the India's private security sector. He's currently the country manager and the director at Suprema for India and SAARC region. He is a keynote speaker at multiple industry forums. He's passionate about using tech for building a Surakshit Bharat, and we are really pleased to have Shreyans Vasa.
Thank you, Shweta. It was wonderful. You invited me here, and I'm feeling one of the greatest moment in my life.
Thank you so much, and pleasure having you here today. So Shreyans, tell us more about how you entered into the industry of electronic security. Throw some light on the journey which you have in this space.
So Shweta, for me, this you see what you see is the end result today. Like as a being a country manager or director at one of the renowned global leader in the security space, but the journey itself is very exciting and long journey.
I'm sure.
So let me take a little bit long journey and explain you.
Would love to hear. Yeah.
So it all started from my childhood. So I'm basically from a place called Bhuj. Bhuj is a capital of Kutch region, western part of India. A very small city, maybe a less than 3 lakh of population. So I was born and brought up in that region. Surprisingly, it's a place where you get all the facilities. It is a small city, but the people's aspirations are very high, right? So as a person, like my father was a government servant for a long time, and he given us kind of values like to do something better in the life. So he equipped with all the kind of right kind of education, even at a place like Bhuj. I was always a dreamer. Being a a younger child, a younger sibling, so I was very pampered child. So my schooling went well, like up till 10th standard, I was a bright student. I was always a class first and kind of percentage and all. When I entered 11th and 12th standard, at that time I got a first shock in my life. That was a 2001 earthquake.
Okay.
Right? So lot of surroundings got changed. we got heavily affected because all the tuitions and the coaching classes and all in a difficult situation, and that is exactly the age that person gets distracted in multiple things because of the age factor, friendships and lot of other things.
Right.
11th and 12th I tried to do my best, but I could not manage well the kind of curriculum and the multiple subjects, and though I had a lot of interest in physics and all, but it was very difficult for me to cope up the the kind of schedule and the the practice and all. So unfortunately in my 12th standard, when the results came out, I got a very less percentage, right? So it was, for me it was a big shock, like I could not secure admission in the directly in the degree college, and that time I felt that I could have done something better. Then I thought, okay, if that is not the route, let me take a longer route. So I, along with my father, we decided, okay, I'll take a diploma route in instrumentation and control in one of the Rajkot based very old and renowned college. But at that time I was committed that okay, I am taking a longer route, but that does not mean that I will miss out on my long term targets. So whatever happened was happened in 11, 12.
That is my past.
That is my past. Yeah. So my first dream was that I need to secure in a very good university and to make a good career out of it, and I made sure that I get good marks, good knowledge, good skilling and all. So after that diploma, when the results came out, I was a state topper.
Wow.
So I had a choice, I had a choice to opt for a kind of government college or the self-finance college or any kind of renowned college, and that I decided that I'll invest in my career rather than just going on a free seat or the government based college. I would rather give a chance to a kind of renowned institution which can help me in shaping my remaining career. So I decided to opt for Nirma University. At that time Nirma, and till today Nirma has its own reputation.
Absolutely.
So of course my father, because of him, because he need to spend a lot of money for it, but I still appreciate his decision that he supported me. I took admission in Nirma University. I was directly entered in a second year of engineering. From there, my life got, lot of changes, lot of positive things happened, because all the surrounding was a very competitive environment.
Right.
So I got inspired from them. I got to learn many things from them. So almost in 3 years journey, when the campus placement started, right? At that time I came to know that okay, I am still lagging far behind than my peer group. Now what are things which were lagging behind? So first and foremost thing, because I was coming from a remote region, so English as a language was a barrier, right? Because is a kind of university where lot of multinationals come up for a campus placement all
Right.
So the basic and primary thing was there that the communication, right? So at that time I tried to think that how can I improve this. So I tried to do lot of classes and all those things, but it was not helping me out. Then I thought, let me do something practical. So my first job was into a BPO.
Okay.
As a call center, and at that time BPO was very popular.
Right.
It was seen as a kind of exciting career.
Right.
So I started doing it as a part time. I given certain interviews there, and I started going to certain BPOs. I started working on my language part of it, vocabulary, language, then
Communication skills in
skills,
general.
and slightly you can say on a presentation part of it. I started doing in part time. I started gaining confidence, how to speak, what kind of words to speak. So with help of that, I could crack my first interview. The company was a Tech Mahindra, which was at that time it was known as a Mahindra British Telecom.
Okay.
So I was so happy, and that was best moment of my life at that point of time.
So
And
your engineering was in which stream?
my core stream was instrumentation and control,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But at that time, if I tell you about 2007-8 era, it was time where IT was very popular.
Yeah.
IT was at peak.
Yeah.
So I secured that placement. I was very happy. My family was in fact very happy that okay, finally he has got something. So once my engineering was over, I started working in this company Tech Mahindra at Pune. And Pune is again the city of that full of cosmo culture and opportunities and all.
Environment.
And surprisingly I got a very good team, good learning on the software part of it. I started liking that industry.
Okay.
But in 2009 there was a Lehman Brothers recession, US based that recession that hit. So lot of layoffs and all happened during that time. So it is again a difficult situation. But I started realizing that IT is something very dynamic, software and coding and all these multiple languages. Today we are working on some language, and after 3 years, 5 years down the line, the languages will change.
Becomes obsolete very
it
fast.
becomes obsolete very fast. And I was not that kind of person. I realized that I'm not that kind of person who will be adapting all these changes in throughout my another 30 or 20 years of career.
You have to be on your toes, like in
Absolutely,
that industry,
absolutely,
always.
exactly. So I was very much convinced through that this is not something I wanted to do, though it was very attractive. And I must say about my career that I was very possessive on it, that okay, if I have decided something, I'll either do it or I'll not do it. So I was very clear in my thoughts were always binary. So I decided, okay, it is better that I should leave as soon as possible before I get a stereotype as an IT engineer or something. So though it has a bond of 2 years of certain amount, I decided okay, I don't want to pursue it further. Almost on, you can say, 1.5 years, still there were 6 months left, I decided to move on. So, and I paid the bond. I was maybe one of the few aspirant who paid the bond, and bosses at that time, managers, and in fact my team members, they said, yaar tu to pagal hai, kyun chhod raha hai yaar aise, aur 6 mahine kar le, tera paisa bach jayega. But I was looking at a long term goal.
Did you have an opportunity in hand?
At that time I came across one opportunity. I was open for multiple kind of roles in the field, but I realized that I did my complete engineering in instrumentation control. I spent my almost 6 years diploma plus degree in instrumentation control, and I was doing completely different thing. Right, just because of maybe you can say attractive culture and the language and the
good brand to
good
work
branding,
with,
good city and all the stuff.
True.
So I realized let me do something where I can relate with my
core
study,
field.
the core field. So I got one opportunity which was in Adani Group. So Adani Group, as you know, that during that time 2008 era, they were establishing their power plants. They were already a leader in ports and other business, but power was something which was new for them.
They were entering into
They were entering, and the first power plant, thermal power plant, was in Mundra. Mundra location.
And there was a familiarity, location familiarity as
well.
well.
Location familiarity, exactly. Because I was from Bhuj, I know Mundra is just a 60-kilometer away.
Right.
So I thought, okay, this is again a good place to be, because I will be again very near to my native. I will be again in Gujarat. So I thought, let me just give a try. So I cleared the interview, I was hired, and then I joined over there.
So was that a sales related role?
No, that was again not a sales. So that's why I say that my journey is a bit long. Yeah, it's a bit longer. So so that was 1.5 years. I moved from IT to again core industry. I was given a role of a kind of instrumentation and control engineer or a plant supervisor kind of thing. So project was under execution. The Chinese company was executing the entire project, and my role was to supervise them, to learn from them, and once the plant is completely handed over, I need to take a complete charge of it, right? So again one diversion came, like I started learning all this instrumentation, PLC, SCADA and all those core stuff. But when it came to fire and security, there was no dedicated person from tech side of it. We had a firefighters and all those people, security people, but there was no person from a technology part of it.
Right.
So, and because it's not taught in any colleges as a standard curriculum,
True.
so somebody has to learn, right?
The field was very nascent in India at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
So that plant, having almost, you can say, 30 to 35 different fire alarm panels, different brands of cameras, access control, biometric, it was a complete mixture of plant, because it was created at multiple phases, right? So you can say, just to name a few, that it has a system from a MNC like Honeywell, Siemens, Detectomat, Tyco, Johnson. So all different brands were there in terms of product and solution. So one fine day my boss said, okay, we have this particular portfolio. There is no one to take it. You have to take it. There is no option. You have to take it. So at first glance, it was for me that I'm moving from my core to again another thing which is not exactly core, right? It was more of a different kind of thing. But then I said, okay, let me give a try. So I started working on it. I started learning, and then I found it exciting, interesting. Why interesting? Because there were other people were not knowing much about things. So whatever I say, it was okay. Yeah, he knows something. So it is, you always get a kind of, respect and
True.
that out of it.
And you also get a confidence that
Confidence.
you can crack something which is
Crack
not
something.
known by many.
Which is not known by many.
Right.
So yeah, that was, again, kind of fun part of it, right? But I like that. Okay, I like that feeling that okay, I am pursuing something which is not known by many people. So I started gathering more and more information. I started getting involved, and within 3 years, I was very happy. Like I know a complete system. We also ordered couple of new systems. I selected certain systems. So from fire and security point of view, technically point of view, I was ready. I was ready that my concepts were clear, and now I have started liking more compared to standard instrumentation. So everything was going good. There was no challenge, that I was in a very comfort zone. So if I just to give you a idea about the plant life is like complete normal. Like you go in a buses, right? So there is no transportation or traffic. Traffic is not a challenge. So there is a 9 o'clock bus which will pick you up from your home. Right. Again at a 6 o'clock they will drop you at your home. Right. And there is a standard, we call it two punch and one lunch. Right. Two punch, one lunch. So we go for breakfast, right, lunch, and maybe a evening snack or something, and you do supervision and all those stuff. Because it was in a kind of project stage, so there were no emergencies. Emergencies will come once you are the operation and maintenance stage. So once the plant was handed over and operation and maintenance started. So within operation and maintenance, I started doing supervision and building up a small team who can go to each and every corner of the plant to supervise every day. Okay. So everything was going smooth. But then I started feeling that it is becoming more and more monotonous, because whatever I was doing, my every day was same, starting to end, and I was not finding a spark out of it. I had certain more requirements also, like on a personal front, because I was married at that point of time. My wife was in another city, Vadodara, which was almost 400 kilometers away. So again, I need to see that okay, power plants will always be in a remote region, right? Very rarely you will see a power plant within a main city area. Right. So there were personal needs, and I realized that again, this a career which I wanted. Yeah, it was partially fulfilling my needs, but it was not overall as I see. I am using my full potential. So I was more fascinated about communicating with the people, traveling and meeting new people, getting to know their viewpoints. That was that was a thing which was giving me impulses or the kind of excitement in my life. But I thought I am not doing that, right? Then I thought okay, let me do something. Let me pursue a career where I can utilize my these skills, like communication skills, presentation skills, meeting new people, traveling and all the stuff. Where can I do that? So I shortlisted certain careers, like if you speak a lot, RJ is the best career, right? Then maybe a stand-up comedian.
So you were inclined towards creative industry.
Creative industry, yeah. As you rightly pointed out, creative industry where I get to chance for speaking. I saw that but where can I make a most of the money out of it, right? And then I come to know okay, sales is a part where even for a speaking you will get a good money out of it, right? So meeting new people, travel, and everything sponsored by the company, right? I didn't know to spend anything from my own pocket. I started working on it because I wanted to move to a city to live with my family and all. I started a good preparation, very rigorous preparation. I was waking up very early in the morning. So almost after you can say 4 or 5 months of preparation, suddenly I saw one vacancy. See, I was very choosy about which companies I want to go. I was not something ki I'll just upload on LinkedIn ki I'm open to work and people will just throw okay you come. I was like, okay, I'll go to these many companies. These are my dream companies, rather than just openly sending resume to many companies.
Great.
I made a list of some multinational companies, right? I regularly visited their website. That is there any vacancy? Is there any vacancy in India near to my city or something? Yeah. Right. Domain was also decided that because I have now spent at least 5 years in security and fire industry, I want to continue with that, right? I checked out multiple companies, and suddenly one fine day I got to know about the opportunity of US based MNC, which is Honeywell, right? They had a vacancy in Ahmedabad, and I was like, and it was morning, somewhere around 5:45 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was shocked. Oh, nice, this is what I wanted. So this is kind of I seen or as my dream job. Okay, let me just now do everything to get this job.
And was this company also on your list?
that company was on my list, in my top 3 list.
Okay,
So
great.
I was more than happy. So I started working on it. I prepared the kind of resume and started applying for it. So I got a call from the company, the my future manager. I received a call from him, okay, you come down for the interview. Now again, one more fun fact, that being in plant, I didn't have the kind of formal shoes. I had a safety shoes.
Acha.
So first thing I need to buy was a
Pair of
kind of a
shoes,
pair of
हाँ.
shoes. So I prepared myself and I went for the interview at Ahmedabad. So he asked me very simple questions, because I was coming from a known sales background, and it was a sales job. It was an experienced sales job, not even a fresher, experienced sales job, where already some experienced person was working, right? So his gentleman name is Mr. Nikhil Jain. He's still there in industry, very renowned name. So he asked me that you don't even have a sales experience. Now how can I can trust on your capabilities and I can take a chance on you. But I was prepared. I told them that okay, see, I don't have a core experience of sales, but during my university college, I did something as a kind of, you can consider as a sales. So during my Nirma University tenure, I was a treasurer in student chapter, Instrumentation and System Automation Society student chapter. We were conducting several events. So in that event, I took a role of getting a sponsorship from the corporates, right? So at that time, it was a very small amount, right? Hardly a 2.5 lakh rupee worth of amount from 10 to 12 corporates. I could secure at that point of time. So
As
I
a
given them that,
sponsorship amount.
yeah, kind of sponsorship. So he said, just 2.5 lakhs. Shreyans, are you trying to convince me with this figure? So I said, sir, see, if you see from a student perspective, right, it's a huge amount, because my entire event got successful, got executed with this amount, right? And without any prior experience, without any kind of infrastructure or the grooming and all, I could secure at that point of time. Now in another, you can say 8 or 10 years, I have got a lot of skills and all, and the basic skill which you require in this particular job of knowledge of fire and security system, technically I have already experienced all of that as an end user. So I know all the problems, I know the benefits, and if you ask me to list it down, I can give you complete positive, negative of this entire system.
Okay.
I can give you a complete USPs of the system, which any salesperson need to do. So I said that this is something which is additional. Of course, the sales part of it, which of course I need to work it can be a channel sales, it can be a how to approach a kind of major consultants and the major end customers, giving a kind of brand presentation and all. Of course, that I need to work, but that I'll definitely I'm going to learn. So that interview was very interesting. He again throws some 2 or 3 other twist kind of questions.
Okay.
I was prepared for that, right? I given my kind of answers to all of them, and end of the interview, he just gave me a kind of santra,
Acha.
right? Orange, right? That you came all the way from Mundra to Ahmedabad. Maybe I cannot give you anything else, but you keep this santra with yourself, right? I was puzzled that what is this? Either मेरा हुआ नहीं हुआ और इन्होंने संतरा दे दिया, मतलब तुम संतरा लो जाओ. So and I told this incident to my friends. बोले गया तुझे नहीं होने वाला. But I was positive from inside. कि okay, I have given my best. I was truthful from my side. I was very realistic, and because I didn't have much of an option, so I was betting very high on Honeywell opportunity. So time was around 1.5 months passed. I was desperate. I tried to call him कि क्या हुआ sir. He said okay, our processes are long, it will take some time. So I was again okay, let us wait for some more time. So one fine day I got a call from a super boss. That he also took a 5-10 minutes of round of interview, and he confirmed that okay, you are confirmed. So I thought okay, great. Now the struggle started. Actual struggle started from here.
But this kind of became a entry into this industry, right?
So that was my turning point to the sales. So when I given this good news to my home, to my better half, as well as my parents and all, that now I got a chance to work in a US based MNC and all.
Right.
Oh, everything is good. But when I said okay, it is a sales opportunity, right? They said why sales? The perception in people about sales is very different, because the way they see that it's a very pressurized job, the timings are not great, you need to travel a lot, your health will not be good. You will be always under mental pressure, right? Targets are there. What if the targets are not achieved? So lot of kind of apprehensions were going around them. So my wife told me that why don't you try something which is a very secure job like a design or product management or anything
Given
which
a
is
tech background
tech
anyways,
background, and you already have a tech background, you will be, I'm sure you will do it better.
Right.
But I told her that
I want to give it a shot.
whether you say yes, no, whatever, I want to give a shot because I'll not get this opportunity again in my life. And even if I get it again, it will be too late to enter. So against all the challenges, I selected this. Okay, I want to go forward in. I went ahead, I joined, and Gujarat was a kind of, you can say, mature market. It was not a emerging plus mature market. So there was already one person who was doing X amount of business. So the benchmark was that plus some growth.
Okay.
Right. So I have to already be, be responsible enough to get those kind of numbers. So I got the kind of good training, but again, because my boss was present in Mumbai, he was based in Mumbai, so he cannot.
And you were in?
I was in Ahmedabad because we did not have a full-fledged office. It was more of a kind of remote office or co-work kind of setup.
Right.
So
because sales वाले mostly field पे रहते हैं, right?
We were all in field.
हाँ.
So my major learning started happening from the field. Just to give you a fun fact that how to hand over a business card, I learned from that job.
Wow.
You can say after almost a career of 8 to 10 years, I'm handing over my first business card. These all things I started learning it from the field. There was no any B school or something, or grooming school and all.
Right.
So
you learned on the job.
On the job, I started meeting people, right? Because it was a channel business, so I need to find out the dealers. We call it a system integrators.
Right.
Now I didn't have any kind of particular list to follow, or the top 10 system integrator list or something, because I need to start my journey by my own. I didn't have prior experience. So unlike other smart sales managers or smart sales people, started googling that who are the system integrators in Ahmedabad. So I got 100 list. So I had a list from A to Z. So then I made a routine that okay, I'll go to this particular company today. Like A, आज मैं A से शुरू करूँगा, फिर मैं B से शुरू करूँगा. So it took a long time. So my first 8 to 9 months, my business was very less.
Oh.
So it was like hardly I was doing 10%, 15% versus the target, even not hitting the 50%, right? And that was a big setback for my boss because he selected me, right? So for him it was a question mark. He had a daily stand-up call. So daily stand-up call, I was the one who was getting beaten up every day. Where are you going?
Your number not
my number was not justifying. I was going somewhere and his name was not known to him. He was not into the top list of the dealers or system integrators. It was not a major known customer to him. So he was always apprehensive. कहाँ जा रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, कुछ पता ही नहीं चल रहा है तेरा. But one thing which I learned that I was consistent. I kept my inputs intact. Majorly, people in sales, they don't take inputs seriously. I took my inputs very seriously. Okay, whatever I am doing, I will
putting
give,
an effort.
because see, results are not in my control, even not in company's control, not in anyone's control. But inputs are in my control. So in first 4-5 months, I realized okay, I am doing ABCD work, but I need to be little bit more, quicker. So I was going very slow. फॉलोइंग ABCD कर रहा था मैं कि कभी A कर लिया, फिर मैं B वाले C वाले. सो ये तो Z तक पहुंचने तक मुझे तो 1-1.5 साल लग जाएगा, ठीक है, बिकॉज अहमदाबाद इज अ बिग मार्केट, राइट. तब मैंने बाकी लोगों से सीखना भी शुरू किया दैट हाउ कैन आई बी मोर एफिशिएंट. दूसरे जो सेल्स वेटरन, उससे मुझे पता था कि देयर इज वन 80-20 रूल, ठीक है. आई वाज नॉट नोइंग अबाउट इट, राइट.
80% of your business is going to come from 20% of your customers.
of the top companies or top customers. तो बोला यार ये भी है. तो then I started knowing कि who are my top 20. Fortunately उनका नाम L और R से start होता था. उनको तो मैंने मिला ही नहीं था क्योंकि मैं तो ABCD से start कर रहा था. तो then I realized कि okay fine, of course I'll continue doing this, but I'll also try to do something on a larger kind of dealers or the system integrators. तो मैंने उनको मिलना भी parallelly शुरू किया. तो I joined in the month of April और 9 महीने मुझे हो रहे थे दिसंबर में. नवंबर तक माई स्कोर वॉज ऑलमोस्ट 0-0-0 जैसा ही था कि हर बार मुझे तो रिव्यू में जाने में भी थोड़ा वो हो रहा था कि मैं रिव्यू में क्या जाके बोलूँगा कि मेरे पास क्या है. फिर दिसंबर में पूरा गेम चेंज हो गया. दिसंबर वॉज अ मंथ आई डिड 1 crore वर्थ ऑफ बिलिंग. तो 1 crore सडनली कोई बंदा 1-2 लाख से पूरा 1 crore पे आ जाता है. तो मेरे सारे जो ऑर्डर्स जो वर्कआउट हुए वो तब वर्कआउट हुए. एंड आई वाज, मुझे तो पता भी नहीं था इतना हो जाएगा, जब मैंने टोटल किया तब पता चला अच्छा ये इतना हो गया.
Oh, great.
So what problem I found out कि being a new salesperson, my projections or my forecasts were not up to the mark. The people whom were meeting, they were giving me kind of forecast, और जो forecast I cannot give it directly to the senior management. I need to add some buffer कि मुझे थोड़ा realistic देना पड़ेगा. So I was giving unrealistic figure कि ये तो 2 महीने में हो जाएगा, जबकि उसको 6 महीना लगा.
Sales cycle are longer.
Sales cycles are longer, right? So I needed to understand sales cycle, then the kind of commitment ratio क्या है, like you know the dealer's commitment ratio and all the stuff.
कोई peak period है कि नहीं है.
Seasons and all the stuff, right? कि decision making कब तक होगा, tendency क्या है. So that all things I started learning from them. And
So you learned the ABCD of sales.
ABCD of sales from on the field, completely on the field. So where I was focusing on ABCD, they were again a kind of dealers. They were not a pure security dealers. They were again kind of maybe more of IT, networking, maybe a different kind of system, automation and all those system. So surprising, they were not into security industry, full fledged. उनका bread and butter वो नहीं था. But because मैंने उनको start करवाया था, and I was having a technical background, know-how था मेरे पास, मैंने उनको confidence दिया कि you bring one project, I'll ensure कि I give you full support. So मेरे लिए एक और एक additional loyal base ready हो गया.
Perfect.
And that base was not there with my competitor. Right, so that has given me a complete edge over the market.
Right, because the other salespeople were not having that kind of tech background which you had, maybe, right?
Yes.
So kind of gave you an edge over them.
Edge over them, right? So for a salesperson or a business developer, it is always necessary to know their domain very well. उनको अपने products के USPs and everything they should know, and they should equally know about the competition.
True.
तो मेरे केस में वो basics clear थे. और एडिशनली जो मैंने किया कि ये जो मैंने हिडन पॉकेट्स क्रिएट किए वो कंपटीशन को मालूम नहीं थे. कंपटीशन वाज ओनली वर्किंग ऑन द टॉप नॉच 20% ऑफ इट. दे वर कंप्लीटली निग्लेक्टिंग दोज 80%. एंड आई वाज हैविंग बोथ. पहले मैंने 80% पे काम किया, फिर मैंने 20% पे भी किया. सो देन आई बिकम वन ऑफ द, यू कैन से, टॉप परफॉर्मिंग सेल्स मैनेजर विद इन हनीवेल. आई गॉट सर्टन रिकॉग्निशन एंड अवार्ड्स. एंड जो मेरे बॉस का भी जो कॉन्फिडेंस था वो 2015 में जब नया साल शुरू हुआ, ही रीगेन्ड कि okay, now you can do at least some sincere job and I can trust and give you a kind of number, and I am sure कि you are going to achieve it.
The Santra has worked.
Santra has worked. Yeah. But yeah, that you know I got to learn lot of things from him during this journey. उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि 2016-17 तक I learned all these things. I was kind of managing my region well. मेरे numbers भी हो रहे थे. But as I said, I was always aspirational and dreamer. मुझे लगा कि okay, आगे क्या, ठीक है. I'm not going to be only a kind of sales manager, only handling a particular region, right? I cannot be bound by a region. मैंने try किया internally, but at that time it was not possible to get a regional role or getting a bigger region. I cannot say a complete leadership, but a kind of managerial role, right? Handling a small team and all. So there were the constraints. तो मैंने सोचा क्या किया जाए, तो I was looking for changes. तो I got one opportunity from one of the Indian company, जो जहाँ पे my all the checkbox are meeting. So I continued my security experience there, and because they were having a kind of challenging role. So role में challenge क्या because they had certain products in security, but not well penetrated into the Indian market. So they had a traditional telecom channel, but जो security का जो था vertical, it was not very well accepted. They were competing against a lot of other brands. So they wanted somebody to take a charge of it and to grow that particular market. So I was very exciting because ये बड़ौदा में ही है, company भी बड़ौदा में है, and again I am.
And because your wife was working in
yeah. So that was always my that कि okay मुझे मेरा base तो यहीं रखना है. तो with that company. My thinking was कि okay, I am entering into top 8 to 10 position of overall 700 people staff, right? उसमें से मैं top 10 में जा रहा था.
Right.
तो मेरा था कि okay, top 10 में अगर मैं जा रहा हूँ, so someday with all the efforts and all, maybe in 3 years, 5 years, or maybe some years down the line, I can be in a top 3 or top league of executives. वो मेरा dream हो गया था कि okay, यहाँ पे मुझे लग रहा है कि वो achievable है, right? तो मैंने सोचा कि चलो अच्छा है, देखते हैं, लेट अस सी. तो मैंने फिर से पूरा मेहनत वगैरह स्टार्ट कर दिया, ठीक है. एट दैट वाज अ टाइम व्हेन आई फर्स्ट हैंडल द टीम, कि टीम कैसे होती है, रिक्रूटमेंट कैसे होता है, रिटेंशन कैसे कर सकते हैं, एट्रिशन होता है तो क्या होता है, लोगों को मोटिवेट कैसे करना है, सुपरविजन कैसे करना है, आउटपुट कैसे लेना है, इनपुट्स कैसे इंश्योर करना है कि इनपुट्स कैसे कर सकते हैं, And one good thing happened with that company, because that was a company in Baroda, so I could see their factory, I could see their R&D department, very structured company. So I got to know कि okay, structured company में काम कैसे होता है, which are all the departments, compliances कैसे होते हैं, because a lot of time in a field when you are in a sales role you are not exposed to all these things कि processes कैसे work करते हैं. In this company I learned कि processes are very important, right? Processes will lead to the kind of efficiency, productivity. गलती होने का chances बहुत कम है.
The possibilities of error are minimized.
वो जर्नी थोड़ी स्टार्टिंग में अच्छी रही, फिर थोड़े थोड़े डिफरेंसेस आने शुरू हुए कि माई फोकस वॉज डिफरेंट, माई फोकस वॉज गेटिंग इनटू द बिगर मार्केट प्रोजेक्ट्स, बिकॉज सिक्योरिटी इज़ अ बिग इंडस्ट्री, सिक्योरिटी इज़ अ वेरी ग्रोइंग इंडस्ट्री and you get a lot of potential. It is not something which is only present in retail and residential and certain segments.
So the B2B potential was really high.
You can see a lot of B2B major partners, like you can say L&T is there, HCL is there, lot of big companies are already there, and
They're focusing on projects.
And projects of very big size. Maybe you can say a project in a size of 1 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, 50 crore or 100 crore and bigger sizes, and we had those kind of products in hand.
Right.
But we were missing out those particular opportunities,
right,
because of maybe every company has their own go-to market formula, and the kind of
maybe a comfort zone as well,
comfort
right?
zone,
When
the
you're
sales
operating
structure,
in a certain kind of markets, you are resistant to change, kind of.
Correct. Almost after a second year onwards, I decided कि okay, I think it is not going to work out on a long time, because I was not enjoying it at a full.
Although the role was better than Honeywell, but you were kind of finding all of these conflicts inside.
One more thing which was not appealing to me, I was becoming more like a manager, right? I was a good individual contributor, and I wanted to go into leadership. I didn't want to become a manager to manage the people. So I was not getting a kind of time where I can hunt for a bigger projects, bigger opportunities, bigger partnerships. Partnerships are very important, right? So I was not getting that kind of time or the kind of leverage of that. So
sorry to interrupt you, but your recent thing I read is also like business development and sales are two different things. You were handling sales, you were leading a sales team, but business development is all about creating new opportunities, new alliances. So just because maybe it can be useful for the audience, I thought I'll just interrupt you and just pitch in this aspect that business development and sales are two different things.
So yeah, very true. Yeah, you rightly said that both are different things, but both are very much related to each other.
Absolutely. One leads to the other.
So sales is like your daily bread and butter.
Yeah.
कि आज का कैसे होगा, इस महीने का कैसे होगा, और maybe इस quarter का कैसे होगा, quarter कैसे होगा. Whereas business development is something which will fulfill your long-term goals. Larger picture. And majority of the companies or the sales people, they miss out on that BD aspect.
Yeah.
No, you should always think कि
रोज का देखो.
रोज का देख के we miss out on the future. Because future will not be same. Competition बढ़ेगा, targets भी बढ़ेंगे. Of course, market size will grow.
Competitor बढ़ जाएंगे.
Right? Challenges बढ़ेंगे, compliances बढ़ेंगे, बहुत कुछ. See, there are a lot of variables.
True.
So the business development will help you to find out a new segment, new market, new opportunities, new partnerships, or
which gives you an edge.
And always a smart salesperson will always think on a future कि okay, मैं आज अगर इसको enroll करूँगा, it will give me fruits after 3 months, 6 months, or maybe after a year. But मेरा next quarter या next year set है. ठीक है? So BD is all about that. You hunt for a new markets, opportunities, and all, and how soon you are getting it into the core sales.
Right.
So it is a never-ending process.
Yeah, true.
So so I was, of course in sales, but I was always having a mindset of BD. कि okay, आगे का क्या करेंगे, ये तो हो जाएगा, आगे कैसे करेंगे. तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि चलो यार, आई एम बिकमिंग मोर लाइक अ मैनेजर. मुझे तो ये नहीं बनना था. अगेन वो जो मैंने एक पहले ही ये सोचा था कि मुझे ये नहीं बनना, सेम वही सिचुएशन फिर से आ गई. So again I did a binary kind of decision making कि okay, 0 या 1, मुझे रहना है या नहीं रहना है. तो I thought कि okay, मुझे नहीं रहना है. तो I started applying to multiple companies. ठीक है. तो I was already at a regional role. I was handling a western part of India. तो मेरे लिए क्या हुआ कि maybe I can go to a national role or something like a key account management role. तो मैंने फिर से मेरा वो जो wish list बना था ना, वो मैंने बना लिया कि मैं कौन कौन सी कंपनी में जा सकता हूँ. And I started applying it. So again that kind of surprise factor आया. तीसरा साल हुआ और one fine day I got a LinkedIn message from a company called Suprema. ठीक है, उनके हाई एग्जीक्यूटिव से एक दिन आया मैसेज. तो जनरली लिंक्डइन पे जब आता है ना, यू डोंट ट्रस्ट, आपको लगता है कि अरे ये तो क्या है, ये तो
Fake
एज अ
भी हो
स्पैम
सकता
हो
है,
सकता है या कुछ भी हो सकता है। तो उनका सिंपल मैसेज था कि हेलो श्रेयांश, वी आर लुकिंग फॉर अ रीजनल मैनेजर्स फॉर इंडिया रीजन, इफ़ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड यू कैन सेंड योर CV ऑन सो एंड सो एड्रेस। तो मैंने बोला ठीक है, रीजनल मैनेजर चाहिए, मैं अभी भी हूँ, मैं अप्लाई कर दूंगा।
चलो ट्राई
ठीक है,
करते हैं।
ट्राई करते हैं। एट द सेम टाइम आई वाज ऑलरेडी अप्लाइंग टू अदर मल्टीनेशनल जो मेरे
Right.
विश लिस्ट में थी, ये मेरे विश लिस्ट में नहीं था,
Right.
आई वाज नॉट नोइंग। बट मुझे ये पता था कि सुप्रीमा इज अ कंपनी which is a core manufacturer or the technology provider for my current company. So I knew is a quality product, is a multinational product. इनका एक reputation भी है globally. They supply to somewhere in 140 countries. मुझे ये पता था. And again, once you come to know about the opportunity, you will always Google, right? मैंने क्या किया, उसका कंपनी का पूरा पेज देखा, फिर मैंने मेरे कुछ नोन लोगों से पूछा कि अच्छा ये कैसा है, सही में प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है या नहीं है, इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक प्रोडक्ट, इज़ अ क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट। तो आई सेड कि ओके चलो बैट ले सकते हैं। बट अभी क्या हुआ कि आई गॉट दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी, देन आई रिसीव्ड अ कंप्लीट मेल फ्रॉम दैट पर्सन, राइट। उसमें लिखा था कि वी आर लुकिंग फॉर अ कंट्री मैनेजर, बिकॉज वी विल फर्स्ट फाइंड अ कंट्री मैनेजर, देन ओनली द रीजनल रोल विल कम। आई सेड ओके।
अच्छा, by that time the company was not there in India.
So there was no company formation in India. They had a global presence. In India, they had, you can say several customers from their, exclusive partnership and all, but they were not having any representation in India. No fixed channel, I would say not a fixed channel, no office, nothing. You can say no entity at all. तो देर वॉज वन रोल कि जहाँ पे मेरे पास पूरा क्लियर पिक्चर है, लाइक इट वाज कम्प्लीटली ब्लैंक, एंड इट वाज अ एरा ऑफ, यू कैन से February 2020। ठीक है, February 2020 में मेरे पास ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आ रहा है। एट द सेम टाइम आई हैड अदर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, सो आई हैड 3 अपॉर्चुनिटीज माई हैंड। ठीक है, मैंने तीनों में जो किया था उसमें से ये ऐसा था कि जिसमें काफ़ी वैसे बहुत एक्साइटिंग था कि इट इज़ अ कंट्री मैनेजर रोल। ठीक है, उनसे मेरा जब डिस्कशन हुआ, आई प्रिपेयर्ड अ लॉट फॉर द इंटरव्यू, आई गिवन देम अ 5-year प्लान, and I can proudly say that even today, I could follow almost 80-85% of that plan.
Wow.
So that clarity,
Amazing.
I prepared well कि okay, I want to do this thing. So whatever my lacunas or the shortcomings in my previous career, I wanted कि वो सारा इधर sort out हो जाए। कि जैसे मुझे जिस तरीके से go to market set करना था, टीम सेट करनी थी, I didn't want to create a very big team, मुझे छोटी सी टीम बनानी, तो वो सब मैंने उधर सेट कर लिया। अच्छा, तो उसमें क्या हुआ कि जैसे ईमेल्स एंड और शुरू हो गए मेरे जो फ्यूचर बॉस थे उनके साथ। तो उन्होंने मुझे पूरा जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन भेजा, मैंने उनको प्लान भेजा, हमारा प्लान के ऊपर डिस्कशन हुआ। ओके, ही सेड कि ओके फाइन। सो आवर फर्स्ट कॉल हैपेंड ऑन अ व्हाट्सएप कॉल, राइट, नॉट इवन जूम एंड ऑल, राइट। तो इवन आई हैव नॉट सीन हिम बिफोर, मतलब मैंने उसको पहले देखा भी नहीं था, मैं मिला भी नहीं था। 18 मार्च 2020 को मैंने मेरा एक्सेप्टेंस दिया ऑफर का। ठीक है, और उसमें लिखा था कि वंस यू एक्सेप्ट द ऑफर फॉर 1 week यू विल बी ट्रेन्ड इन कोरिया। तो आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी कि अच्छा कोरिया जाने को मिलेगा, राइट, बिकॉज ऑफकोर्स फॉरेन टूर इज ऑलवेज एक्साइटिंग फॉर इंडियंस। तो एंड इवन इट इज़ अ कंपनीज एक्सपेंस, राइट, सो वी आर डबल हैप्पी। तो सब मैंने एक्सेप्ट किया, फैमिली में बताया मैंने। ओके, सो ट्विस्ट इज दैट कि ये जो था अपॉर्चुनिटी, बिकॉज देर वॉज नो एंटिटी, तो इट वॉज ऑन अ कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल जॉब। I was getting money transferred from them. It was a simple agreement. So unlike Indian companies, जहाँ पे आपका एक होता है कि said PF होता है, ESIC होता है, you get a complete payroll and all. So it was a very different kind of format which I was going for. I was never into the contractual format.
So it was risky as well.
It was risky as well, right? तो जबकि foreign में it is very common, right? तो बट मेरे कोई जॉब सिक्योरिटी की वजह से मैं ऐसा नहीं कि मैं यहीं पर ही रहूँगा, ऐसा आई वॉज वेरी मतलब वेरी मच ओके कि ओके मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लूँगा। तो आई सेड कि ओके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है तो क्या हुआ, मैं मेरा बेस्ट दूंगा, अगर नहीं भी चला तो आई अगेन गो बैक टू सम RSM पोजीशन या समथिंग। हाँ, शायद ये होगा कि कुछ 3-4 महीने शायद घर का EMI भरने में दिक्कत हो जाए, बट आई वाज ओके कि ओके मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो कर लूँगा। आई टुक अ बिग रिस्क कि माई एम्प्लॉयर इज सिटिंग इन डिफरेंट कंट्री, आई विल गेट ऑल द मनी ट्रांसफर्ड बाय दैट वायर ट्रांसफर एंड ऑल। ठीक है, ऑन काइंड ऑफ कंट्री मैनेजर पोजीशन, बट देर इज नो टीम एट ऑल, राइट। सो काइंड ऑफ पोजीशन बट देर इज नो टीम एट ऑल। तो
सब कुछ खड़ा करना है,
सब कुछ स्क्रैच से बनाना है। तो आई हैप्पीली टुक दैट असाइनमेंट। आई जॉइंड ऑन 15th May। अभी समझो जैसे 18th मार्च को मेरा एक्सेप्टेंस हुआ, 20th मार्च से लॉकडाउन लग गया। सो माई कोरिया टूर गॉट कैंसल्ड। ठीक है, even my laptop I got on a 3rd month of my joining because there was no dispatch at all. So that all kind of very small things कि जो challenges जो start होते हैं ना in a COVID time,
right.
और भी challenges आए because मैंने जैसे ही join किया तो फर्स्ट थिंग आई नीड टू एस्टैब्लिश अ काइंड ऑफ चैनल, राइट काइंड ऑफ चैनल और द काइंड ऑफ पार्टनरशिप्स. बट बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड फर्स्ट वेव you cannot even travel. So if you cannot travel, how can you know a kind of organization you want to do the partnership, right? So very limited scope of partnership. I met everyone over the call, email, zoom meeting से किसी को मिल रहे थे. But until and unless you meet in person, then only you will come to know कि इसके ऊपर bet लेने जैसा है या नहीं लेने जैसा है. ठीक है, तो मेरे लिए वो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज फैक्टर हो गया. स्टिल आई रन द शो कि ठीक है मैं यहाँ से करूँगा, इनको मैं शायद पहले से थोड़ा जानता हूँ तो मैं इनके ऊपर बैट ले सकता हूँ. सो आई टुक अ बिग बैट ऑन वन ऑफ द अहमदाबाद बेस्ड कंपनी. वी डिड अ पार्टनरशिप एंड मैंने सोचा कि चलो जिनको मैं जानता हूँ उनके ऊपर तो मैं बैट ले ही सकता हूँ. ठीक है, सो बिकॉज मुझे बिजनेस तो रन करना था. आई कैन नॉट सिट ऑन जीरो नंबर फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. ठीक है, मुझे पता था अगर मैंने 9 महीने या 12 महीने जीरो पे रहा तो आई विल बी द फर्स्ट वन टू गो आउट ऑफ फ्रॉम द सिस्टम. तो ऑलमोस्ट 2 साल तक, श्वेता 2 साल तक मैंने आई वर्क सिंगल हैंडेडली. आई वॉज द वन हु वॉज डूइंग काइंड ऑफ सेल्स, काइंड ऑफ ऑपरेशंस, काइंड ऑफ कंप्लायंसेस. इवन अगर मुझे कुरियर भी करने जाना होता था ना, डेमो डिवाइस अगर मुझे किसी को कुरियर करना है, सो वी मैन्युफैक्चर दिस बायोमेट्रिक डिवाइसेस, राइट. आई वॉज डूइंग इट बाय माई ओन, राइट. अगर मुझे कोई मीटिंग करना है, आई वॉज गोइंग टू कोवर्क स्पेस. ठीक है, वी डिडंट हैव ऑफिस, though we had one co-work space, but I hardly was going there. तो all kind of challenges being a, अच्छा किसी कस्टमर का या पार्टनर का प्रॉब्लम आता था, ओके गिव मी अ मोमेंट, आई विल टेक अ रिमोट डेस्कटॉप फॉर यू.
Oh my God! So you are the support executive,
Yes,
you are the
yes,
office
everything,
admin guy,
everything.
you are everybody.
राइट. सो पीपल वर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि ओके ये किसी को पास ऑन करेगा. पता चल रहा है कि सपोर्ट का मेल भी इसी से आ रहा है. ठीक है, कोटेशन भी यही भेज रहा है, सब कुछ इसी से आ रहा है. सो सी बट दैट टाइम the bonding becomes strong with the prospect customers and partners because they have a trust कि okay ये है तो करके देगा. तो almost for 2 years जैसे ही मार्केट खुला, सेकेंड वेव के बाद जैसे ही खुला, आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग द बेनिफिट्स बिकॉज मैंने जो बीज बोए थे ना उससे पौधे बनने स्टार्ट हो गए थे. तो मैंने स्टार्टिंग में जब किया तो मेरे लिए क्या था कि इवन हार्डवेयर जहाँ पे जाता है, जहाँ पे decent sizes you install 100 or 200 or 500 quantity of hardware that will give you a maybe a you can say 1 crore 2 crore worth of opportunities. So मेरे लिए था कि वो तो पॉसिबल नहीं था. कोविड में सब लोग बातें बड़ी बड़ी करते थे बट एवरीवन्स बजट वाज वेरी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड. ठीक है, तो इवन विथ सेलिंग 1 or 2 डिवाइस लाइक 1 or 2 lakhs आई वाज हैप्पी कि चलो कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा है. एट द टाइम आई स्टिल रिमेंबर माई फर्स्ट परचेज ऑर्डर was from IIT Mumbai. And I was so happy कि अच्छा मैंने अगर ये क्रैक कर लिया ना तो मैं कुछ भी क्रैक कर सकता हूँ.
कितने डिवाइस का ऑर्डर था?
1 device. Just one device. Just one. And I was so thankful to that gentleman who trusted remotely. Even I could not visit. See, you will get lot of purchases for maybe some partners or some other, but you to get a brand which can trust on you over a remote in this condition is very difficult. So मेरे लिए हो गया कि अच्छा अगर मुझे ये मिल गया तो मैं कर सकता हूँ. अगर वो नहीं होता और वो एक्सटेंड हो जाता तो मे बी आई कुड गो इन अ फ्रस्ट्रेशन मोड, जो मेरे साथ नहीं हुआ. आई वॉज लाइक ओके, कोई भी अगर पूछता था और प्रोडक्ट इज इन IIT मुंबई, अच्छा है कि वो सेकंड क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते आपकी तरह कितना डिवाइस है. अगर वो होता तो इट कुड बिकम अ फनी मोमेंट. बट यस देन आई स्टार्टेड लर्निंग कि ओके अगर मुझे अभी स्केल पे वर्क करना है, मुझे थोड़े और रेफरेंसेस और रिलेटेबल जो हो ज़्यादा जिनको लोग रिलेट कर सकें वैसे रेफरेंसेस पे वर्क.
So you didn't think of hiring a team for sales for
Yeah,
that time?
so that was a time, but because of COVID, for first 2 years I had a restriction from company itself कि नहीं अभी आप करोगे तो भी वो person travel तो नहीं कर पाएगा. So that was again a challenge. So
you had to run the show with
minimal resource. So at that time I started learning कि एक entrepreneur कैसे काम करता है. So it was not like a funded startup or something. It was more like a working an entrepreneur कि अगर मैं अकेला हूँ और मुझे सब चीज़ मेरे हाथ पैर सब कुछ अगर बांध दिया है और मुझे किसी पे अगर अटैक करना है मैं कैसे करूँगा, राइट. 1 person एज अ कमांडो सिचुएशन. सी ओपन ग्राउंड में तो कोई भी मार देगा, बट जब आपको ऐसे कोई बांध दे और फिर आप अगर आपको छोड़ दे और आपको करना हो तो बहुत सारे लोग गिव अप कर देते हैं. ठीक है, क्या करेंगे यार, छोड़ दो. उससे अच्छा सी अगर उस टाइम पे भी मैं अप्लाई करता ना मुझे कोई और जॉब मिल जाती इजीली 6 महीने के बाद. बट मैंने सोचा कि नहीं यार करते हैं, लगे रहते हैं. तो अगेन कमिंग टू दैट कि मैंने थोड़े रेफरेंस लेने स्टार्ट किए और मुझे ये लग गया था कि अभी अगर मैं अकेले इतना कर सकता हूँ तो अगर टीम होगा ना मेरे पास तो वी कैन मल्टीप्लाई दिस काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस एफर्ट्स, ब्रांड प्रेजेंस वगैरह हम लोग कर सकते हैं. तो जनरली फॉर अ कंट्री मैनेजर और लीडर इट इज़ वेरी इजी टू गेट अ सेल्स पर्सन फर्स्ट, ठीक है, आप सेल्स पर्सन लोगे बिजनेस बढ़ेगा, ठीक है, बट माई थॉट प्रोसेस वॉज डिफरेंट। मेरा सोचना क्या था कि ओके मैं सेल्स पर्सन ले लूँगा, बिजनेस बढ़ेगा, बट हु विल बी देयर टू सपोर्ट दोज कस्टमर्स एंड पार्टनर्स। तो मैंने सोचा नहीं, आई विल फर्स्ट हायर सपोर्ट, बिकॉज सपोर्ट अगर मेरा सही होगा तो अवर पोजिशनिंग इन द मार्केट विल बी, सुप्रीमा है मार्केट में एंड इट हैज़ अ गुड सपोर्ट, so better to go with Suprema compared to the kind of, you can say, counterparts, other counterparts. It can be Indian counterparts, it can be other maybe Chinese counterparts and all. So all have, you know, kind of issues in support and all, whereas, you know, I wanted our brand to be known more as a great product with good level of support.
Great.
ठीक है, तो
you kind of defined your differentiator.
अभी चैलेंज फिर से शुरू हुआ, बिकॉज अगेन एंटिटी था नहीं इंडिया में, तो अगेन कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल वाला आ गया। अपने इंडियन जो जनरेशन है अभी, राइट, उनका है कि नहीं वाई विल वी गो ऑन अ कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल मोड, हम लोग नहीं जा सकते। तो काफ़ी अच्छे कैंडिडेट मिले थे, बट द फाइनलाइजेशन पे दे वर गोस्टिंग मी बिकॉज दे डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू द कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल फॉर्मेट। मैं उनको बताता कि नहीं यार, आज ऐसा है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, जैसे ही हमारा एंटिटी बनेगा यू विल बी हैविंग ऑल काइंड ऑफ द प्रिविलेजेस एंड ऑल, राइट, देयर इज़ नो यू नो कॉम्प्रोमाइज इन द ब्रांड और एनीथिंग। बट क्या होता है कि आप हर किसी को कन्विंस नहीं कर सकते। सो लोगों को वही था कि कल को अगर ऑपरेशन बंद कर दिया, हमारा तो इधर सेटल्ड जॉब है, वहाँ से हम आएंगे कैसे होगा, हमारा घर कैसे चलेगा। बट आई गिवन देम एश्योरेंस कि मैं हूँ तब तक, यू डोंट वरी, आई गिव यू फुल सपोर्ट, आई विल एंश्योर कि यू नॉट ओनली जॉइन, यू ऑल्सो ग्रो विथ मी। जैसे ही मैं ग्रो करूँगा, मेरे साथ साथ आप भी ग्रो करोगे। सो एट दैट टाइम आई केम इन टच विथ वन ऑफ माई ओल्ड कनेक्ट, शी इज़ अ लेडी, हर नेम इज़ प्रेरणा, right, after a lot of different candidates, she was the one who was ready to take up challenge. She has a full faith on me ki okay, if you are there I can take, but you have to assure that you are going to be there, right, you are not going to move. So I said okay, let us do one thing, you trust on me, I will give you a full trust. And she was the first to join after me as a technical support lead. Wow. Right, so abhi usne join kiya to hame because office setup to chahiye hoga, because we have a kind of hardware and software and all, so you need a setup टू बी देयर, राइट, आप घर कहीं से देने के लिए तो आपको करना पड़ेगा। तो बिकॉज वी आर ओनली 2 people, राइट, हम लोग ऐसा तो थे नहीं कि 8-10 लोग हैं, तो 2 जन के लिए कितनी स्पेस चाहिए। तो हमने सोचा कि ठीक है 2 लोग के लिए ऐसा कोई स्पेस ढूंढते हैं। एंड को वर्क में वी कैन नॉट वर्क बिकॉज वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ सेटअप, लाइक यू हैव अ स्टूडियो सेटअप, राइट, सेम वे वी हैव अ हार्डवेयर एंड ऑल। को वर्क में यू कैन नॉट हैव अ हार्डवेयर जस्ट लाइंग हियर एंड देयर। तो वी थॉट ऑफ सेटिंग अप स्मॉल ऑफिस, एंड अगेन वी नीडेड अ GST एंड ऑल, राइट, तो उसके लिए भी यू नीड अ काइंड ऑफ परमानेंट एड्रेस। So we found out one small space in Vadodara. It was a very small, you can say 350 to 400 square feet, just 2 small cabins and 1 reception and all. ठीक है, no peon, no reception, nothing, just 2 people. ठीक है, उसके लिए हमने ऑफिस किया। Again that you know that she joined, then उसने काम करना शुरू किया। उसमें भी एक फन फैक्ट ये है कि that was the first office of Suprema, और उसमें why I appreciate her today, because वो ऑफिस में ना शटर था।
Okay.
You know that shutter, right? The heavy shutter होता है, not a motorized one. So she was so dedicated that even I was not going office every day because I was mostly on a tour and all, right? मैं तो hardly week में 1 या 2 बार जाता था काम करने के लिए। तो वो आती थी ऑफिस everyday 9-9:30 को आती थी, एंड वो आते ही पहले शटर ओपन करती थी ना, इमेज अकेले, राइट। तो जो लोग मेरे साथ जुड़े, ठीक है, जिनको भी मैंने सेलेक्ट किया, whomsoever I hired, I interviewed, देन आई केप्ट वन थिंग एज अ कॉन्स्टेंट कि वो पर्सन गो गेटर होना चाहिए, राइट, कुछ भी जो चीज़ उसके जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में नहीं भी लिखी हो, बट ही शुड बी डूइंग दैट, ठीक है। और लोग करते भी थे, राइट, बिकॉज दे हैड अ फुल ट्रस्ट ऑन मी, राइट, और मैं उनको उतनी फ्रीडम भी मैं साथ में देता था कि यू टेक योर ओन डिसीजंस, राइट, वी शुड ऑल वर्क फॉर अ बिगर गोल, नॉट फॉर अ डे और नॉट फॉर अ डे और मंथ और समथिंग। देयर इज़ अ वेरी फेमस सेइंग दैट यू नो हायर प्रोफेशनल्स, इफ़ यू हायर प्रोफेशनल यू नीड नॉट टू मॉनिटर देम, ठीक है। अगर हाँ आप प्रोफेशनल हायर नहीं कर रहे हो तो आपको नीटी ग्रिटी में जाना पड़ेगा, राइट, माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट का लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट मोस्टली देन आई मेड अ रूल कि ओके वी विल बी अ वेरी लीन टीम, लाइक यू नो काइंड ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योर की थोड़े लिमिटेड लोग होंगे, बट इट विल बी वेरी एफिशिएंट टीम। सो एज ऑन टुडे इन माई टीम देर आर ओनली 9 people, right, and we are doing almost an equal business which you know you can say maybe a 400 or 500 odd people, you know, the kind of size of company, kind of, you know, we are almost doing a size wise the same business, right, and just a very limited resources, okay, and that's why, you know, lot of things are benefit of because of that, because you know there are limited team, सो आपको जो ऑफिस सेटअप है वो लिमिटेड चाहिए, यू कैन गिव अ प्रेफरेंस फॉर देम फॉर अ डिफरेंट ज्योग्राफी. सो आज भी मेरे जो लोग हैं अभी सिस्टम में, दे कैन वर्क फ्रॉम अ बैंगलोर, फ्रॉम मुंबई, फ्रॉम दिल्ली. So they can work very near from their home. They need not to shift from their place. Some people are in Vadodara, so there has a best kind of work-life balance. So and the cost of living is also very less. So I could give all kind of this benefit to them. So team में फिर धीरे धीरे और भी लोग जुड़ते गए. Like I understood कि देखिए support में पहले strong कर दे. तो my first 3 people were from support background, not from a sales background. And then we were almost about to be 4. Like हमने company formation कर दिया. We hired a consultant. That GST number and company formation, foreign subsidiary. I become a director of that company, right? This company तो मेरे लिए भी वो भी एक बड़ा मोमेंट हो गया. तब तक तो मुझे यही था कि ओके, बट देन सडनली माई परसेप्शन गॉट चेंज कि ओके नाउ बिकॉज आई एम अ डायरेक्टर, सो आई नीड टू बी मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल. वी टुक सर्टन इनिशिएटिव्स, राइट. फिर मैंने सोचा कि चलो अभी माई सपोर्ट इज सेट, सो माई बैक एंड इज कम्प्लीटली सेट, ऑफिस इज ऑल्सो सेट. सो वी मूव टू अ न्यू ऑफिस विच वॉज अ स्लाइटली बिगर स्पेस, जहाँ पे सब कुछ डेमो सेटअप से लेके सब कुछ करने का था. बेसिक एमिनिटीज़ भी सारी कवर्ड हो रही थी, लाइक कैंटीन फैसिलिटीज़ एंड रेस्ट रूम्स एंड ऑल दो स्टफ विच आर अ वेरी बेसिक फॉर एनी एम्प्लॉय टू ज्वाइन. ठीक है, तो ये सब सॉर्ट आउट हो गया. फिर मैंने सेल्स प्रेजेंस बढ़ाना स्टार्ट किया. नाउ टू हायर अ सेल्स मैनेजर विथ अ वेरी लिमिटेड टीम, व्हेन यू आर ओनली 4-5 पीपल, एनी सेल्स मैनेजर विल सी यार ये कंपनी में क्या ही जाऊँगा. सो आई गॉट टू नो फ्रॉम मेनी पीपल. इंटरेस्ट तो काफ़ी लोगों का आया, बट मैंने सोचा था कि नहीं, मैं उसके साथ जाऊँगा जिसके साथ मेरा गट फीलिंग है, राइट. आई वुड वर्क विद अ पर्सन की जहाँ पे मेरी फ्रीक्वेंसीज मैच हो रही है. ठीक है, बिकॉज सेल्स ऐसा है ना कि इफ़ इट इज़ अ वेरी डिफरेंट, हम दोनों का अगर माइंडसेट मैच नहीं होगा ना तो इट विल बी ऑलवेज अ क्लैशेस. सो ही जॉइन एंड एट दैट टाइम आई वॉज सो हैप्पी कि अच्छा कोई तो है जो मुझे ज्वाइन कर रहा है. सो फ्रॉम दैट डे आवर सेल्स ग्रू एंड ग्रू, राइट. वो पूरा ग्राफ ऊपर ही होता गया, बिकॉज पहले मैं अकेला था. ठीक है, फिर मेरे सपोर्ट में एक जो बंदा है जिसकी और मेरी क्वालिटी एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर रही है. आई वॉज मोर बेटर इन चैनल सेल्स, गेटिंग ऑन द पार्टनरशिप, राइट. आई वॉज मोर इन आइडेंटिफाइंग द पार्टनर्स एंड वर्किंग विद द पार्टनर्स. ही वॉज मोर बेटर इन फेसिंग द कस्टमर, एंड कस्टमर, मोर टेक्निकली कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे किए जाए, राइट. सो ही वॉज अ टेक्निकली गुड, एंड अगेन ही हैड हिज ओन सेट ऑफ ओन कस्टमर्स, प्रोस्पेक्ट कस्टमर्स. सो हम दोनों का जो एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा था ना, एक दूसरे को कॉम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है. So I can relate it with one famous, our influencer. His name is Rajiv Talreja. He says the same fundamental, that when you are forming a business, your co-partner or your co-founder, it should be always be a complementing. Whatever you do and whatever he does or she does, it should be complementing, because आप दोनों एक दूसरे को complement, that relationship will long last.
Yeah.
तो जो मेरा सेल्स का जो था, ठीक है, कि एंटरप्राइज सिक्योरिटी में हमें एक पोजीशन बना था, जो मेरा 5 साल का जो मैं प्लान लेके चल रहा था. ठीक है, दिस प्रेजेंस ऑफ दिस पर्सन was giving me a boost, because he was based in Bangalore. Bangalore is again one of the biggest security market in South India, biggest tech market. So first हम दोनों ने पूरा शो संभाला आगे, right. So you can say a kind of good 2 batsmen on the pitch, right. So he was working more on a end customer part, and I was working more on a ब्रांडिंग, हाँ, चैनल बिल्डिंग एंड ऑफ कोर्स द ब्रांडिंग पार्ट ऑफ इट. बिकॉज अभी भी हमें एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ता था काफ़ी जगह पे. वी नीड टू एक्सप्लेन कि ओके वी आर सुप्रीमा, वी आर अ काइंड ऑफ ग्लोबल लीडर, बट इंडिया में हम लोग ने अभी शुरू किया है. वी हैव अ लिमिटेड रेफरेंसेस, राइट. दो वी हैड अ रेफरेंसेस, बट यू कैन नॉट कोट ईच एंड एवरी रेफरेंस, बिकॉज देर आर ऑलरेडी सम NDAs साइंड, राइट. तो देर आर ऑल देर आर बेस्ट इंस्टॉलेशन इन डिफेंस, बट यू कैन नॉट कोट इट, राइट. तो देर आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेशंस टुडे. ब्रांडिंग में फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम, आई टोल्ड यू दैट लिंक्डइन से मुझे आया था एक दिन सुप्रीमा से मैसेज. सो आई वाज एक्टिव ऑन लिंक्डइन, बट आई पुश दैट टू अ काइंड ऑफ अनदर स्टेज. लाइक मैंने गियर चेंज कर दिया, एक्सेलरेट किया उसमें थोड़ा, कि मैं इसको थोड़ा बढ़ाऊंगा, क्योंकि मैं लिमिटेड लोगों को मिल रहा था. ठीक है, मैंने थोड़ा लोगों से मिलना बढ़ाया, तो मैंने नेटवर्किंग बढ़ाया थोड़ा. मेरा जो था कि आई वॉज मोर वर्किंग इन कंपनी सेटअप एंड ऑल, मैं नेटवर्किंग में लोगों को मिलता था. बट मैंने सोचा कहाँ पे इंडस्ट्रियल नेटवर्किंग होगी कि सिमिलर इंडस्ट्री के लोग मिलेंगे. सो एट दैट टाइम इन 2023 आई जॉइंड FSAI. FSAI is a Fire and Security Association of India. It is one of the largest organization, not-for-profit organization, for you can say spreading awareness on a fire safety, security and other kind of emerging technologies. तो see क्या होता है कि your brand is known पहले लिमिटेड था, बट मुझे अभी उसको बढ़ाना था. मैं कैसे उसको बढ़ा सकता हूँ विद दिस काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मैं जितना ज़्यादा प्रेजेंट रहूँगा, ठीक है, आई कैन मीट अ सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ पीपल, सिमिलर स्ट्रक्चर, लाइक व्हाट यू डू इन BNI, राइट. सो सिमिलर इट वॉज अ काइंड ऑफ BNI एक्सपीरियंस फॉर मी, काइंड ऑफ नेटवर्किंग. और मैंने क्या किया कि मैंने आई स्टार्टेड पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन इवेंट्स. आई गॉट सर्टेन इन्विटेशन इन अ पैनलिस्ट, ठीक है. So just see my journey from a kind of individual to professional to a kind of member to some organization, from member to a panelist, and from that panelist to फिर मैं as a speaker आया कभी, मैं as a so मैंने कोई पैनल में मैं moderator हूँ. so वो सारी जर्नी धीरे धीरे मैं करता गया. और वो जर्नी करने के लिए you need all the kind of knowledge, the experience, the right kind of skill set आपको चाहिए. तो today LinkedIn is the very powerful tool, you know, if you rightly use it. अगर आप उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हो तो यू कैन, या बिकॉज सी यू कैन नॉट बी प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर फिजिकली, बट योर थॉट्स, योर बिलीव्स, योर ओपिनियंस, नॉट ओनली ऑन द टेक्निकल मैटर बट अदर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑल्सो, यू कैन शेयर इट ओवर LinkedIn. And it has a kind of, I would say, most genuine platform compared to different platforms. It's a genuine platform where all the professionals work. You get to know their, their current companies, their experience, their beliefs and all. तो अगर कोई LinkedIn को अच्छे से यूज़ करता है ना, तो ही कैन गेट अ बेस्ट आउट ऑफ इट, ठीक है. तो मैंने ये भी शुरू किया. सो केविन वॉज वर्किंग मोर ऑन अ एंड कस्टमर साइड एंड गेटिंग इनटू द बिग, यू कैन से either a metro customer or data centers and the industrial customers and all. I was also working on certain customers where you know I was more comfortable. तो हम दोनों ने ये शुरू किया. और साइड में मैंने ये जो पूरा मार्केटिंग वगैरह जो है, ब्रांडिंग स्टार्ट किया. तो वी आर ऑल्सो पिचिंग ऑन द इवेंट्स, यू नो, सर्टेन इवेंट्स में पार्टिसिपेट किया. सो अगेन, यू नो, इवेंट्स में आप हर कोई बड़े इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर सकते. तो वी को पार्टनर विद सर्टेन कंपनीज, ठीक है. एंड पूरी दुनिया क्या करती है कि जो टॉप 3-4 इवेंट्स होते हैं ना, उसी में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं. बट वॉट वी डिफरेंटली डू इट, माई परसेप्शन वॉज कि ठीक है, जो बड़े इवेंट में तो सारे बड़े बड़े कॉम्पिटिटर है, ठीक है, उसमें आई मे नॉट गेट अ दैट लेवरेज. सो बीइंग एन एंटरप्रेन्योर या जो लीन कंपनी, मुझे था कि कम पैसों में कैसे मैं ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट कर सकता हूँ, ठीक है. तो बहुत सारे इवेंट में जस्ट एज अ डेलीगेट जाता था. एंड आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग नेटवर्किंग रादर देन स्पॉन्सरिंग इट. आई वाज हैप्पी टू गो एज अ डेलीगेट. तो उस टाइम पे हमने काफ़ी सारे सेपरेट इवेंट्स किए, लाइक डेटा सेंटर्स के ऊपर हमने पार्टिसिपेट किया, फार्मास्यूटिकल के ऊपर किया. रिसेंटली हमने किया, दैट वाज ऑन AI बेस्ड इवेंट, ठीक है. देन वी ऑल्सो डिड एन ग्लोबल कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर GCC के ऊपर किया, निश मार्केट, राइट. सो उसमें क्या हुआ कि देयर वाज अ लिमिटेड ऑडियंस फ्रॉम दैट पर्टिकुलर फील्ड एंड वी शोकेस अवर काइंड ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज इन देयर काइंड ऑफ segment, or we showed those kind of problem statement to them ki we assume that these are your problem statement, we have certain solutions, why not to connect and explore, or maybe you can give us a problem statement, we will give us a time, we will work over it and then we can come. तो कई बार क्या होता था कि डिस्कशन होता था बट आगे नहीं बढ़ता था, बट धीरे धीरे वो सब एक एटलीस्ट मेरा नेटवर्क जो है वो बढ़ता चला गया. सो ऐसे करते करते सुप्रीमा में भी अभी आई जस्ट मार्क माई 5th एनिवर्सरी ऑन दिस 15th May 2025, ठीक है. तो आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी टू सी कि चलो 5 साल मैंने, मेरा ये फर्स्ट कंपनी है जिसमें मैंने 5 साल कंप्लीट किए, ठीक है. बाकी सारे कंपनी में यू नो मेरे काफ़ी फ्रेंड बोले कि तूने ग्रेचुइटी कभी ली ही नहीं. सो दैट सो मैंने बोला अगर मैं ग्रेचुइटी के लिए रुकता ना तो मैं शायद आज यहाँ तक नहीं पहुँचा होता. लाइक पीपल गेट टेम्पटेड टू लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट्स, राइट, पर्क्स एंड बेनिफिट. So I was always thinking कि ठीक है, see money and all us dream, but we should all work for a bigger dream, right? जो money cannot buy those kind of dreams, right? तो वो मेरे लिए एक था कि passion था. So with God's grace and all, right? So we have a now good office in Suprema office in Vadodara, right? And a kind of, you can say, close to 9 team members, and we are present in now almost every other segment, right? From, you can say, educational to the retail to the housing to residential to big industrial parks, corporate spaces, co-work spaces, and you can say data centers and critical infrastructure, R&D facilities everywhere, right? So we already have those kind of references now, and now we are able to invest much more in our upcoming journey. Right. तो आपका जो सवाल था उसका मैंने काफ़ी ज़्यादा टाइम लिया. आपने जैसे पूछा कि how you landed up into the security industry. So this is my entire journey. It was accidental. So आप पूछोगे कि security और sales, तो वो मेरा 10 साल का ही जर्नी है. उससे पहले का जर्नी वो was very much different. But हाँ, I can proudly say कि within this 10 years I could do justice to my role and to my I could give it back to society, और मैंने मेरे family के लिए और उनको भी एक ऐसा तो कर दिया कि हाँ कुछ तो किया है इसमें, ठीक है ना.
So being actively part of the electronic security space, I think you've seen the industry evolve a lot. Tell us more about how the industry was earlier and where is it going now.
See Shweta, this entire security industry, I could see the journey in the phases. In 2010 era, it was more of analog cameras. That analog cameras very popular in that, and that companies were there in India, but there was not much of a competition or penetration. There were only few world leaders, and Indian companies were very less.
You're talking about CCTV cameras.
CCTV cameras, right? So majorly access control come as a second part,
Right.
and access part, of course, biometrics and all were there because India has always been one of the biggest biometric market. So there, so I would say it was a more of a product-oriented market. Products were dominating, like you will get a CCTV, you will get a small solution out of it, right? So limited solutions and not much of expectation. So for example, you have a kind of analog CCTV or maybe a kind of IP CCTV, you will connect it to either for your infrastructure or the space, and you will have a people to monitor that system, kind of supervisor and all. So within this 10 to 15 years, what has changed? Gradually the networking part of it came as a mainstream, like that IP camera become a mainstream, because once it is over IP compared to analog, lot of benefit it offers. So first major change which I see, that lot of weightage has now come on a video management system and the analytics, video analytics part, because you always have a people to monitor, but people has their own limitations and habits and the challenges, right? You cannot solely rely on the security person, because it's again there is a chance for human error.
Yeah.
Right? But that kind of analytics, if fine tuned properly, it cannot fail. It will give the kind of analytics, okay, it is object detection or maybe a line crossing or whatever analytics you have, or maybe a safety PPs or something, a traffic violation and all. So in these recent years, this AI has come as the mainstream. You machine learn all this kind of analytics to it. Simple camera will give you a stream. That camera stream, you process it through video management system, and then you will use it along with AI to create a kind of dashboard or to create a kind of meaningful result out of it.
Prediction as well.
Yeah, so you can have a kind of, first is alert is fast,
Predictive alerts.
predictive, instantaneous alerts and the predictive alerts.
Right.
Previously क्या होता था कि supervisor used to monitor these things. कुछ होता था ना, supervisor को देखना पड़ता था कि कुछ गलत हो रहा है, ठीक है. सेकंड क्या होता था कि अगर कुछ होता है ना, you need to do a lot of time for postmortem. Right, because आप वो फीड लोगे, फिर आप बैठोगे, फिर आप उसमें कौन से कैमरा में क्या है उसको देखोगे, फिर उसको फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करोगे, लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स,
सब क्राइम सीरीज में दिखाते हैं.
या सो वो होता था. जबकि एज ऑन डेट ऐसे टेक्नोलॉजीज आ चुके हैं मार्केट में कि दैट विल गिव यू अ काइंड ऑफ एनालिटिक्स. दे विल एग्जैक्टली पिन पॉइंट द जर्नी ऑफ अ कंप्लीट पर्सन, कि ये पर्सन अगर मॉल में एंटर हुआ, वो कहाँ से कौन से कैमरा से पास हुआ और कहाँ से एग्जिट हुआ. सो फॉर अ पोस्ट एनालिसिस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इट बिकम्स वेरी फास्ट, ठीक है, तो एफिशिएंट हो जाता है. देन अगर मैं इसकी बात करूं जो मेरा कोर फील्ड है, लाइक एक्सेस कंट्रोल वगैरह में, तो प्रीवियसली इट वाज सिंपल, लाइक दैट यू इंस्टॉल द बायोमेट्रिक मशीन्स एंड ऑल, राइट. आप सॉफ्टवेयर ले लोगे, आप उसका डेटा जो भी होगा यू विल कनेक्ट इट टू पेरोल सिस्टम्स एंड ऑल, और मे बी आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इन एंड आउट उसका रेगुलेट करोगे. डेटा प्राइवेसी एंड साइबर सिक्योरिटी वॉज नॉट इवन अ प्राइम फैक्टर डिसाइडिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम्स.
It was more of a HR angle.
Slightly you can say IT angle because networking वगैरह होता था. But recently मैंने जो देखा है ना कि डेटा सिक्योरिटी, डेटा प्राइवेसी, कि आपका डेटा कैसे मैनेज हो, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल डीलिंग विथ अ पर्सनस क्रेडेंशियल, प्राइवेट क्रेडेंशियल्स. सो इफ इट इज माई फेस हो गया, फिंगरप्रिंट हो गया, इवन सी दीज आर द बायोमेट्रिक, बट अदर देन देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पर्सनल डेटा, your name, surname, your age, your demographics, lot of details also go along with this system. ठीक है, तो ये डेटा कैसे हैंडल हो रहा है, ठीक है, वो डेटा क्या पूरा एनक्रिप्टेड है या नहीं, एंड टू एंड एनक्रिप्टेड है या नहीं. हो सकता है मेरा सॉफ्टवेयर में एनक्रिप्टेड हो, बट जो हैकर है, जो इंट्रूडर है, ही कैन टारगेट द डिवाइस, ही कैन टारगेट द ट्रांसपोर्ट मीडियम, ठीक है. सो एंड टू एंड एनक्रिप्शन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. डेटा एनक्रिप्शन were not very popular 15-20 years. Of course, there are some multinational and some organized companies or the global companies, they are always insisting for that. But I have seen that gradual shift into the mindset कि okay, data is very important, ठीक है, तो data has to be encrypted, और उसके जितने भी security लेवल्स हैं वो होने चाहिए, उसके जो रिलेवेंट सर्टिफिकेशंस हैं वो होने चाहिए.
Right.
So recently last 3 to 5 years मैंने ये भी देखा कि lot of certifications or the compliance was also play a major role in Indian industry. So there are some, you can say certificate regulations are on the data privacy. So globally there is a GDPR, Global Data Protection Regulation, and most of the European MNCs follow that. Indian companies are now also following it, and it is also known as the DPDP Act. So of course उसमें काफ़ी सारे और भी फ्यूचर में रिविजन्स आएंगे, बट कंपनीज हैव ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड लुकिंग एट इट कि वेदर वी आर फॉलोइंग GDPR और आर वी फॉलोइंग, हमें DPDPA से कोई चैलेंज तो नहीं होगा ना. सो दे हैव स्टार्टेड आस्किंग दोज काइंड ऑफ रिलेवेंट क्वेश्चन. सो देर इज अ ग्रेजुअल शिफ्ट इन प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन और सेम टाइम यूजर्स माइंडसेट आर ऑल्सो चेंज, राइट. पहले जो डिसीजन मेकिंग मोर और लेस HR IT और ये सब लोग लेते थे, नाउ इट हैज कम टू अ पोजिशन वेयर CIO इज इन्वॉल्व, वेर CISO इज इन्वॉल्व, चीफ इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी ऑफिसर, उनके भी कंसेंट लिए जाते हैं इसमें. तो दीज आर ऑल द ग्रेजुअल शिफ्ट विच वी कैन सी. एंड इंडिया में तो अभी रिसेंटली देर इज अ यू कैन से नॉर्म ऑफ STQC विच इज दैट फॉर CCTV कैमराज. तो these all are things are good for Indian security industry because that it is making it much more robust, much more secure compared to the the kind of substandard products. So all things are for good. And I can see lot of foreign companies are also entering in India because India is a kind of most emerging market and it is a lot of potential to grow. I have seen the entire industry getting shifted, and now lot of youngsters, they are also looking it as an lucrative industry to work for.
Okay.
Right. So these are all the kind of trends which I have seen. और आगे जाके तो और AI and cyber security and machine learning, and that will again shape it into a very different level. But as of now, I am seeing it has already in a good maturity stage.
Right. So Shreyans, what is the biggest misconception you have come across regarding the facial recognition and the biometric technology?
Most of the security people or the kind of people at a senior management, they see as a cost, security or fire safety or all this
Cost
aspect
center.
as a cost center, right. So they generally see कि यार यही तो है कैमरा, ये भी यही काम करेगा, ये भी यही काम करेगा, why to invest more, right. वीडियो सर्वेलेंस करना, इट इज़ नॉर्मल. सो दे थिंक कि ओके 7 साल या 10 साल का लाइफ है, मैं क्यों इतना इन्वेस्ट करूं, मैं उससे 50% इन्वेस्टमेंट में भी अगर मेरा हो रहा है, ठीक है, तो मैं क्यों इतना इन्वेस्ट मुझे करना चाहिए, राइट. इट इज़ अ टिपिकल थॉट कि इसमें क्या ही फ़र्क पड़ जाएगा अगर मैंने थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा क्वालिटी वाला प्रोडक्ट ले लिया, ठीक है, या तो ज़्यादा प्रूवन रगेड प्रोडक्ट या ज़्यादा सिक्योर ले लिया, उससे क्या ही फ़र्क पड़ जाएगा. सो माई परसेप्शन और माई व्यू इन टू दैट, इट इज़ नॉट मेड फॉर दैट 7 to 10 years of span, right. It is made for one particular incident which will make you in a very difficult situation. उसके लिए वो चीज़ बनी है. अगर उस दिन पे उसने अगर परफॉर्म कर लिया और आपको जो चाहिए वो एनालिटिक्स या इंटेलिजेंस उसने दे दिया ना, तो उसका पैसा भी वसूल हो गया, राइट. जो वट एवर योर इन्वेस्टमेंट यू डिड, दैट इज ऑल कवर्ड,
राइट.
एट द सेम टाइम इट इज़ नॉट अ कॉस्ट सेंटर, इट इज़ अ प्रॉफिट प्रोटेक्शन सेंटर और अ लॉस प्रोटेक्शन. आपका जो प्रॉफिट है बिजनेस में, सी अल्टीमेटली यू वर्क फॉर अ बिजनेस फॉर अ प्रॉफिट. इवन इफ योर बिजनेस इज शट डाउन फॉर सम पीरियड ऑफ टाइम बिकॉज ऑफ उस दिन कैमरा वर्क नहीं किया, उस दिन कुछ हुआ और उसकी वजह से चोरी हो गया, या मे बी कोई भी ऐसा इंसिडेंट हो गया कि विच वॉज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड, ठीक है, तो उस दिन अगर उसने अपना काम कर लिया, योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर प्रोटेक्टेड. एंड दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन यू कैन से अ प्रोडक्ट and a proven product. The standard product, a proven product, a certified product, because certified product is something which will work in all kind of such conditions because it's already certified for that. My view is ki it is an investment to protect their profits.
Perfect. So Shreyans, you have shared that in your journey you have worked both with MNCs as well as Indian brands. So tell us, what is the kind of traits a leader should have if they really want to grow fast?
See, both have their kind of bright side as well as the the downside as well, the kind of limitations and all. In my this journey, I have worked in both the kind of environments. So first and foremost thing, when it comes to a multinational companies, the processes are already set and very strong. They work for a long-term vision. Right? They don't see like 6 months, 1 year. They have a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20 years plan down the line that what they want to become, and they take those steps consciously. If something they feel ki in a long term it is not correct, but short term it is correct, they will ignore that idea. They will simply not launch that, or even if it is launched, they will try to terminate that idea.
Right.
For a long term good, they will see कि okay short term में अगर वो नहीं होता चलेगा. Whereas I see that most of we as an Indian, we see a short term, nothing wrong into that, but again that short term happiness, short term sales versus a long term goals makes a lot of difference in our overall perception.
Right.
In entire sales team, in your marketing team, support team, everyone, it will affect everyone. Another thing, if I just give you an example, the processes are strong, product is very strong. If your product is strong, your salesperson will feel very confident, the person who is actually facing to the end customer. Okay? So multinational, they make sure whatever is there in their data sheet, in certifications, in parameters, whatever is the limited factor they will mention, it 100% proven on the field. The day you are installing the system, at least those things are done. Whereas the kind of companies, I'm not saying all Indian companies, but yeah, there are major companies who write in the data sheets or the spec sheet and all, because of to tempt the customer, okay, we give this feature, we give this feature. Even some features are not launched, but still they say star mark, okay, in this condition you can use it. Not well tested in in your environment, and you are launching it, then you are doing a big time R&D on the customer's place. So that thing I personally don't like that that kind of approach.
सो परसेप्शन का ही मेन डिफरेंस है, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ पे इतना तो चलता है, ये काइंड ऑफ एटीट्यूड हमेशा रहता है.
इतना तो चलता है, थोड़ा बहुत तो चलता है, and that is where exactly the difference will come in. Some of Indian companies have now started thinking as a multinational kind of so one of the example is UPI. Right, UPI payments now has penetrated a lot, that globally known. Now it is giving competition to credit cards.
Right.
So see how fantastic, there is zero error, like we don't see a error every other day.
Yeah.
Right, and that product is designed and developed in India.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Difference is in the mindset, the maybe the leadership. You can see Digi Yatra, right, how seamless it is, and what kind of experience we are giving in our airports vis-a-vis you can see any other country.
And made in India.
Made in India
proudly
product,
India,
right?
yeah.
So these all are the examples where Indians are now thinking more like a global. I don't say a global.
Yeah.
Indian global.
Yeah.
So strong processes, strong product, strong kind of infrastructure, and the kind of strong people also.
Right.
You also need a great people to be with in team,
Right.
sharing the same vision, same values, and that professionalism.
So what are the kind of traits a leader should have while taking the company to a different level?
So see, leadership is very different from the managerial role.
Yeah.
You are a kind of captain in the ship, right? That is the best example I can give. So in that case, you need to think very differently. So what I see as you need to think like an entrepreneur, right? What entrepreneur does, all things if you do, you are a kind of good leader. So kind of go-getter approach, right? Whatever you think, whatever it takes to get that thing on your plate, that is a kind of go-getter approach. उसके लिए जो भी लगेगा मैं करूँगा, ठीक है? उसके लिए मुझे साम दाम दंड भेद कुछ भी मुझे करना पड़ा, I need to do it because मेरा घर उससे चलने वाला है, ठीक है? मुझे टीम में अगर कोई पर्सन चाहिए, now how to get that person in my team, I need to be a kind of that approach. Second important thing, getting out of comfort zone. This is a very relatable in my journey. If you see, in my all jobs I was very comfortable. If just for an sake of my first job, software job, I was comfortable. मेरा तो सब चल ही रहा था, ठीक है? भले वो ग्लोबल रिसेशन वगैरह आ गया, बट आई टुक अ डिसीजन कि ओके आई डोंट वांट टू कंटिन्यू, ठीक है? सेकंड जॉब में था, इट वाज अ इंडस्ट्रियल प्लांट बेस्ड जॉब, एवरीथिंग वाज कंफर्टेबल, राइट? मेरा तो इट वाज बिग ब्रांड, राइट? देयर वाज अ वेरी हाई लेवल ग्रोथ प्रोसेस, बिकॉज आज भी जो लोग उस ब्रांड के साथ हैं, दे ऑल बिकम अ गुड जनरल मैनेजर्स एंड ऑल दैट लेवल लीडरशिप पोजिशन में आज लोग. बट मुझे था कि नहीं, मुझे कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आना है. तो लीडरशिप इज ऑल अबाउट यू कम आउट ऑफ योर कंफर्ट जोन, बिकॉज आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन में आ गए ना, देन यू थिंक ऑफ सेटलिंग कि ओके मैं फैमिली के साथ ये सिटी में सेटल हो गया, मेरा रेगुलर हो रहा है. लीडरशिप विल नॉट वर्क दैट वे, राइट? यू हैव टू कम्प्लीटली इन टू द स्पेस की जहाँ पे आपको कंटिन्यूस नई चीज़ के बारे में सोचना है. ऑफकोर्स यू आर सेटल ओवरऑल, बट स्टिल एट द ग्राउंड लेवल आपको कुछ ना कुछ चेंजेस करते रहना है. अगर इफ इट इज़ टू मोनोटोनस या अगर कोई चेंज नहीं करो तो आपको रिजल्ट भी ऐसे ही मिलेंगे. तो इफ यू गिव अ सेम इनपुट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, इट विल गिव यू सेम आउटपुट. देयर इज नो ब्रेक थ्रूज, राइट? सो अपने को ब्रेक थ्रू करना, लीडर्स का ओनली जॉब है ना, उनको रूटीन से बाहर आना है, एंड दे नीड टू डू द ब्रेक थ्रूज. कि मैं कैसे इसको ब्रेक, अगर मेरा कोई प्रोसेस ज़्यादा टाइम ले रहा है, अगर वही चीज़ है उसको मैं कैसे ऑटोमेट कर सकता हूँ, उसमें कैसे एआई ला सकता हूँ, ठीक है, कैसे मैं फॉर एग्जांपल ईआरपी को इम्प्लीमेंट करके उसको मैं और ज़्यादा एफिशिएंट बना सकता हूँ. एज अ लीडर आई विल सी द डैशबोर्ड, ठीक है, आई विल नॉट गो इन द नीटी ग्रिटी ऑफ इट, बट मेरा डैशबोर्ड मेरा क्या कहता है. सो लीडरशिप इज़ मोर अबाउट दैट not only managing but to lead, setting up some examples, because most of the people उनको खुद को एग्जाम्पल सेट नहीं करना है, बट उनको जो कि मेरा टीम ये करे, ठीक है. सो आई हैव टू बी द फर्स्ट वन टू डू इट, राइट. अगर मैं मेरे टीम में किसी को बोलूंगा कि लिंक्डइन पे प्रोफाइल बनाओ, ये करो, और मेरी खुद की अगर नहीं होगी, मैं एक्सपेक्ट करूंगा कि मेरे टीम में कोई मार्कॉम वाला आ जाए, मार्केटिंग कम्युनिकेशन वाला, और वो एक दिन में जादू कर दे, कि नहीं होगा. आई हैव टू बी माई ओन ब्रांड एम्बेसडर, देन आई कैन आस्क अदर पीपल टू own that. So leadership is always setting an example. Second key, to dream a lot. Leader has to dream. अगर आपके पास खुद का ही ड्रीम नहीं है और आप सोचोगे कि कंपनी ग्रो कर दे, तो वो नहीं होगा. तो every other day you need to dream, and then you to pursue a lot. You need to have a patience to pursue. You have to have a plan for it, कि मैं कैसे उसको अचीव करूँगा. अगर आपके पास ड्रीम ही नहीं है तो आप प्लान क्या करोगे, ठीक है. तो ड्रीम भी होना चाहिए. सो लीडरशिप इज ऑल दिस थिंग्स टू मी. And for me, leadership is more like less of a interference, more of a output. Right. It is like you hire professionals, ठीक है. अगर प्रोफेशनल नहीं है तो उनको प्रोफेशनल बनाओ, उनको बताओ कि आपको ये करना है, then you leave it to them. अगर लोगों ने खुद ही अपना काम समझ लिया कि मुझे ये करना है, then you can work on a strategic part of it. You can work on a breakthroughs and all. So this is about leadership.
So Shreyans, the show is called as Meet Momentum Masters. So एक question तो momentum पे बनता है. So you recently won this 40 under 40 Security Leader Award. Tell us more about this mantra for your success as well as the momentum of your growth.
See Shweta, you call it success, right? But I call it me versus me, right? What I was there 5 years back, 10 years back, 15 years back, what I was there in college. But हाँ, ये एक amazing celebration हो गया, right? I always like the वे कि आप जब स्टेज पे जाते हो, तालियों की गूंज जो होती है ना, दैट गिव यू गूज बम्प्स. ऐसे लाइफ में पूरे मोमेंट आप देखोगे ना, लाइक अगर आप 70 ईयर्स का वो है ना, तो स्कूल, कॉलेज, योर प्रोफेशनल जर्नी, एंड मे बी देन तो 70 ईयर्स में टोटल अगर आप सेकेंड्स काउंट करोगे ना, वो मोमेंट 5 से 10 मिनट का ज़्यादा नहीं होगा, राइट. आप गए स्टेज पे, 30 सेकेंड का वो जो क्लैपिंग हुआ, लोगों ने आपको ग्रीट किया, दैट मोमेंट इज़ प्राइसलेस. आप कुछ भी करके ना वो मोमेंट रिक्रिएट नहीं कर सकते. आपके पास वीडियो वगैरह होगा, बट यू विल सी दैट वीडियो एंड ऑल. सो अवार्ड्स एंड रिकॉग्निशंस आर वेरी प्रीशियस, ठीक है. होगा कुछ एज के बाद आप अपने बच्चों का या किसी और का आप अवार्ड में आप वो यू विल सेलिब्रेट इट एंड यू विल फील दैट, बट फॉर योर ओन सेल्फ इज वेरी लिमिटेड पीरियड. सी आई ऑलवेज थिंक कि जो पर्सन होता है ना, इट इज़ अ जर्नी, राइट. सो जो भी सराउंडिंग में लोग हैं ना, उससे आप कुछ पॉजिटिव चीज़ें लेके धीरे 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 आपका पूरा कैरेक्टर, आपका पूरा जो व्यक्तित्व है वो धीरे धीरे बनता है. तो मेरे केस में जो अलग अलग लोग मिलते गए, अलग अलग प्रोफेशनल जर्नी में मिलते हैं, कुछ अपने ग्रास रूट वैल्यूज़ भी हैं, फैमिली वैल्यूज़ भी हैं, कुछ मेरे अपने भी बिलीव्स हैं. सो आई एम अ पर्सन की हु ट्राइज एंड एक्सप्लोर्स एवरीथिंग. एक्सपेरिमेंट करने के बाद ही मैं उसके ऊपर भरोसा करता हूँ. सो दैट इज़ हाउ माई कैरियर शेप. सो कई बार क्या होता है, यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ एडवाइसेस इन कैरियर, ठीक है. वो एक बहुत सिंपल एडवाइस है कि सुबह उठो, जल्दी सुबह उठना ही बेस्ट होता है. जिसने सुबह उठना शुरू किया अर्ली मॉर्निंग, तो ही होता है, पढ़ाई अच्छी तो ही सक्सेस मिलती है, राइट. कि आप वो मॉर्निंग समथिंग करो. सो मैंने काफ़ी साल तक वो ट्राई किया, स्कूलिंग में ट्राई किया, कॉलेज में किया. सो वन गुड थिंग वॉज विथ मी कि मैं ऑलवेज सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन करता था. मुझे मेरे स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस बहुत पहले से पता थी, ठीक है. जो लोग कभी उस जोन में जाना नहीं चाहते, बिकॉज पीपल बिकम इमोशनल, या तो क्रिटिक्स हो जाते हैं उसके ऊपर, या थोड़ा होता है ना कि वो होता है कि अरे यार ऐसा तो मैं किसी को बताऊं तो कैसा लगे. तो आई कैन प्राउडली से कि यार मैं मॉर्निंग पर्सन नहीं हूँ. मैंने बहुत ट्राई किया, बट देन आई फाउंड आउट काइंड ऑफ रूटीन इन मी. सो आई एम मोर ऑफ अ नाइट ओल्ड पर्सन. मैंने देखा कि मेरे लिए क्या वर्क कर रहा है, तो मैंने देखा कि उस टाइम पे आई एम बिकमिंग मोर क्रिएटिव. अगर कोई चीज़ मैं रात को अगर मैं शुरू करता हूँ, लाइक आफ्टर 10 और 11, कि जनरली बिकॉज आफ्टर मैरिज जैसे मेरी डॉटर है, तो वो उसके सोने के बाद अगर मैं करता हूँ, तो आई डोंट गेट एनी काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रैक्शन. आई गेट अ कंप्लीट पीसफुल स्पेस फॉर अनदर 3-4 आवर्स. अगर मैं उस टाइम पे कोई टास्क में लेता हूँ, तो माई एफिशिएंसी इज़ वेरी हाई, ठीक है. मेरा जो क्रिएटिव साइड ऑफ इट है, मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया कि जो क्रिएटिव साइड होता है, हर एक सेल्स पर्सन में एक क्रिएटिविटी तो रहती है, तो मेरा वो साइड भी उसमें काफ़ी ग्रो कर रहा था. So then I decided, okay, I'll be a more नाइट ओरिएंटेड पर्सन कि मैं नाइट में काम करूँगा और बट दिन में मैं जब जब लगेगा तब मैं रेस्ट भी ले लूँगा, नॉट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ माई हेल्थ एंड ऑल. So I'm still very conscious about my health and I'm almost 15 to 20 days I travel in a month. So health is again an important parameter because we are seeing many different cases. So I'm very selective about my food, then the kind of travel I do a lot of walk and all. So this is more related कि ये सारी habits मेरे में बनती गई, ठीक है. और जो आप मुझे अभी देख रहे हो ना 40 पे, इट इज़ काइंड ऑफ डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड ऑल जो जुड़ते गए और उसमें से मैं बनता गया. तो मेरा भी मानना है कि क्या होता है कि पर्सन को अपने आप को जानना चाहिए. जो ये अवार्ड्स वगैरह तो ऑफकोर्स इट इज़ अ रिकॉग्निशन, बट यू शुड अवॉर्ड योर सेल्फ समथिंग कि आप खुद को रियलाइज़ करो, आपको जो ड्रीम है वो आपको पाना चाहिए, उसके लिए आप एफर्ट करो. आपको पहले तो अपना ड्रीम जानना ज़रूरी है और ड्रीम के लिए क्या आपको करना है वो ज़रूरी है. तो ओके, वी आर एट दिस पॉइंट कि मैं एक शेयर करूँगा आपके साथ कि जो मेरा 40 अंडर 40 का जो है ना, वो मैं देखता था काफ़ी लोगों को, मैं इंस्पायर भी होता था, अरे यार ये है, यू सी इन मेनी फोरम्स एंड शार्क टैंक एंड अदर थिंग्स एंड ऑल, राइट. तो मैंने कभी मेरे बारे में सोचा नहीं था कि यार मुझे होना है, मुझे था कि यार होगा, देखेंगे, करेंगे, ऐसा कोई पर्टिकुलर गोल नहीं था. बट जब भी मेरा लास्ट ईयर 38-39 का हुआ ना, मैंने बोला यार ये तो करना चाहिए. और मैंने कुछ मैं कर भी रहा हूँ इस केस में कि अभी मेरी प्रोफाइल भी ऐसी हो चुकी है कि मैंने अपने आप को देखा कि मैं कहाँ एक भुज में एक सिटी में मैंने स्कूलिंग किया था, फिर मैंने ग्रेजुएशन किया और मैंने धीरे धीरे ऐसे चेंजेस लिए कि बिलो 40 की एज में, लाइक आई वाज अ कंट्री मेजर 35-36 ईयर्स ऑफ एज, जबकि ये एज में लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं परस्यू करना, राइट. तो भले मेरी जर्नी काफ़ी लोगों से अलग है, बट अगेन आई कैन टेक अ प्राउड मोमेंट कि यार एक बंदा जो कच्छ जैसी जगह से आया है जहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादातर लिमिटेड बिजनेसेस में होते हैं, जॉब्स में होते हैं, गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स में होते हैं, उसके अच्छा मैं पूरा कॉर्पोरेट में मैंने पूरे करियर को मोल्ड किया. तो मेरे लिए वो एक प्राउड मोमेंट था. मैंने बोला अगर ये प्राउड मोमेंट है तो वाई शुडेंट आई अप्लाई फॉर this kind of award, and it is in a security, it is not even in some different field. Business world security is exactly the award to recognize these kind of security professionals. और मैंने उस टाइम पे काफ़ी कुछ सोसाइटी के लिए भी किया था, लाइक दैट आई स्टार्टेड इन्वॉल्विंग इनटू द फायर एंड सिक्योरिटी एसोसिएशन, अमेरिकन सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल सिक्योरिटी विच इज़ ऑल्सो नोन एज ASIS, देन अदर इंडस्ट्रीज, अदर नेटवर्किंग एंड ऑल. तो वैसे चलो मैं एटलीस्ट अप्लाई तो करता हूँ, एंड मैंने अप्लाई किया. सो इंटरव्यू आया. सो इंटरव्यू इज़ अ रिमोट इंटरव्यू, राइट, जूम इंटरव्यू, बिकॉज ऑल पीपल आर बिग शॉट्स, like who has already done a great job in security. So some person are a CEO or the managing director of some guarding companies. The other one may be a you can say CIO or CTO of some the other big large corporate. There was one lady who is Veena is a first woman commando in India. So these kind of people were there on the panel, right. So almost you can say 15 to 20 people on Zoom call. And मेरे लिए वही था कि इंटरव्यू में, so I thought कि okay there will be a interview where I'll be given a time like maybe 30-40 minutes or 1 hour, because एक पर्सन को जानने के लिए अवार्ड के लिए तो इतना तो टाइम चाहिए. So I was surprised that they already studied entire profile, my entire profile, LinkedIn presence, their the nomination form, everything they had with them, right. So that Zoom interview, after a lot of waiting, when it started, I thought it may be at least 15, 20, 30 minutes of interview. तो मैंने प्रिपेयर भी उसी तरीके से किया था, बट आई ऑलवेज हैव अ हैबिट कि मैं उसका एक शॉर्ट वर्जन हमेशा बना के रखता हूँ. तो माई जस्ट इंटरव्यू स्टार्टेड कि the most senior person in that panel, he said कि Shreyans, look, you only have 3 to 5 minutes. Within that, whatever question we ask, you have to be to the point, and in that you need to prove yourself. So first question goes like this, that Shreyans, how do you consider yourself, how do you see yourself as a deserving candidate for this BW 40 under 40 award? So I prepared for this answer, but yes, my answer was very long. So I thought okay, let me just rephrase this particular answer. I said, look sir, I have 3 points, very quickly I will take. First point, a professional journey. I started Suprema in year 2020, this is 2025. I have given a 7x times of growth for this company. From a zero presence in terms of the technical person or the staff, I bring it to a close to 9 people team. So I established the team, processes, operations, and I have given a growth to them, and now we have generated multi-million-dollar business for this company. That is my professional aspect of it. Second is what kind of social impact I have generated. So socially, as I said that, I was always trying to giving back to the society. See, always, that is there. So I given a very short answer that I am associated with Fire and Security Association and certain other organization, and in these organizations I take part actively, and I am trying to give back to the society at the local level. So I am a joint secretary in Vadodara chapter, and I have conducted certain events, and I have also opened during my tenure. We also opened a student chapter at GSFC University. So now we are also interacting with a lot of students who are already doing a core of a fire safety. So it didn't take more than 2 minutes, and then my third the third point. The third point I said ki because I am turning 40 this year, so I have first and last chance. I don't have any more chance. So this is my third and major reason for me. So with these three, these are the three. So he smiled a bit, and then he moved to a next one. He asked the panel that does anyone else have any other question? So then one more lady asked me for that, lady Miss Veena Gupta, he asked me the another question, and that is how my interview got over in less than you can say 3 minutes. But I realized that once you go to a leadership position or then the position, every word matters, whatever you speak, and people has to be very concise and clear in their communication. With a less of a word, your key message should be reach to the audience or the key stakeholder.
Right.
So and I don't know. So I got the mail on any other day that finally your entry has been selected, and I attended that event. So and that particular moment gave me a goosebumps. That particular interview experience. I will say the complete interview experience. कि मुझे लगा कैसा लगेगा उनको या क्या लगेगा, but I think end is right, so everything is right.
Right. Great. So I would love to know, if you were to mentor somebody in a similar industry, what advice would you give to them?
Mentoring is something always good, but nowadays I see ki rather than mentoring, it is we need to work more closely with them as a kind of friend and all, as a well wisher, because the new generation, I consider myself one kind of a different generation, but the completely new generation, they are more digitally equipped, they are more tech savvy, their goals are very clear, and again they are very much more privileged. So when I say I come from a different background, we didn't have much of a extracurricular activity, and exposure to a foreign language was very limited. But nowadays, if you see YouTube and lot of other stuff is already there to make them already, and they themselves know lot of things about better about themselves. But there are still some things which when I go for hiring, or when I hire somebody and he is within my team, I follow certain things. I give them a certain key points, which I would consider as a mentoring or whatever you suggest, as a buddy or something. So my first advice or kind of suggestion to the people, like I have seen many people changing too frequent in the jobs, and they select job and then they end up getting into the job where they are not satisfied, or they have some challenges and all, or it is a bad move. So first thing which I want to suggest is that your move should be very calculated, calculated risk you should take. Second, whenever you change any job or kind of business open something, even it applies to business as well, there should be one thing which is a common, right? I'll give you an example.
Sure.
So for example, my first job was IT. First job you don't have a control, right? First job तो जो मिल जाए वही अच्छा है, ठीक है? But first to second job, I thought कि let me continue something, right? तो मैंने क्या continue किया? मेरा जो core field था, वो मैंने continue किया कि I did some instrumentation और I continued that. My first job to second job, all the learnings in fire safety and security got continued in my Honeywell experience. Right. Only the sales part was new, right? From my third to fourth job, like from Honeywell to the Indian company, it was more of a sales experience was common, the product was slightly new, and the role was a geography was bigger. Okay? And from last journey, like from that Indian company to Suprema, it was more of a sales and everything is good, but the role is much more bigger. Okay? And it is a kind of new company, new country, those parameters are new, like completely unknown, right? So people do mistake when they completely go to unknown territory. ठीक है, इट इज़ अ बिग बिल्ड, लाइक आपने किसी को जानते ही नहीं हो, आपको कंपनी के बारे में नहीं मालूम है, दे डोंट डू प्रॉपर काइंड ऑफ होमवर्क. So always keep one thing as a common. So क्या होगा कि जो overall risk factor है, that will be limited, and you are building on something. See, ultimately what we want in a career, like we spend almost close to 40 years in our career. ठीक है, 40, और कुछ लोग तो मे बी रिटायरमेंट के बाद भी कंटिन्यू करते हैं. तो क्या होता है कि आप कोई हर 5 साल पे जीरो से फिर से स्टार्ट नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, और करते हो तो ऑफकोर्स आपके कुछ जो एक्सट्रैक्शन है वो डिफरेंट होंगे. बट व्हाट आई बिलीव कि ऑलवेज इट इज़ गुड टू बिल्ड ऑन समथिंग एंड देन यू कीप ऑन बिल्डिंग. तो मैंने जो आईटी था, आईटी या मेरा इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन था, उसके ऊपर मैंने फायर सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी बिल्ड किया. उसके ऊपर मैंने सेल्स करियर बिल्ड किया. सेल्स करियर में से मैंने उसको ज़्यादा और ब्रॉडन किया, इंडियन मार्केट के लिए किया. फिर मैंने सार्क रीजन बिल्डअप किया, और उसके साथ मैंने जो अभी साइबर सिक्योरिटी एआई उसका कैसे इम्पैक्ट हो सकता वो मैं बिल्डअप कर रहा हूँ. एंड देन आई एम बिल्डिंग ऑन काइंड ऑफ एंटरप्राइज सिक्योरिटी एंड ऑल. मैंने अभी लीडरशिप, नेटवर्किंग और वो सब मैंने बिल्डअप किया. सो इट इज़ ऑलवेज अ बिल्डअप. So you are not leaving your roots. ठीक है, at the same time you are continuing, and that is how your value will be increasing day by day, your worth. Yeah, so calculated risk is a right word. At the same time you should always have a one common factor, and the second thing that you should always have somebody known. अगर कोई known है तो और अच्छा है, because nowadays you will always feel surprised once you are entering. क्योंकि बाहर से तो सब अच्छा लगता है. Once you get into that job, you start working, and then you realize अरे मैं तो ये कहाँ आके फंस गया. And then you cannot leave immediately because you have some commitments, financial commitments, other commitments as well. So it is always better to switch with a calculation. But at the same time, this is I'm saying a positive advice. At the same time, there is another advice which I wish to suggest with based on my experience. It comes from a famous word, ghosting. ठीक है, मैं अगर बात करूँ जो एक जनरेशन है अपना वाला या अपने पहले वाले जनरेशन की, if somebody is offering you a job, your employment के जिससे अपना घर चलता है, we have at least that courtesy कि we will either join, or if we are unable to join, we'll give a kind of courtesy message कि sorry sir ये नहीं हो पाएगा, मेरा सिटी डिफरेंट है, या तो सैलरी कम है, या तो मेरा लाइकिंग का फील्ड नहीं है, या तो मुझे इसमें एक्साइटमेंट नहीं है, या मेरे प्रेफरेंसेस अलग हैं. देर कैन बी एनी रीज़न, बट यू विल एटलीस्ट गिव सम रीज़न एंड देन यू विल कम ऑन अ बैक फुट. जो मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया था कि एक स्पेसिफिक जनरेशन है जो क्या है कि they are not bothered about the opportunity, even if you match their financials, the location, the preferences, office environment, even if you are able to match everything, right. They are not everyone, but some of them, they are not keeping their moral values correct. So moral values क्या है कि if you are not able to join, or if you are not able to pursue, your preference may be different. Even at a last moment you can come and inform, because it is always good to be transparent, because somebody has spent good amount of time in selecting you. Somebody has already rejected few nowadays, because remote culture is very easy. Moonlighting is also very easy कि यहाँ से नहीं तो यहाँ एंड में पैसा ही कमाना है. एक फुल टाइम जॉब कर लेंगे, एक इवनिंग कर लेंगे. ठीक है, रिमोटली सॉफ्टवेयर कैन बी डेवलप फ्रॉम एनी पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. ठीक है, बट दैट इज ऑल गुड.
So that cultural shift will happen, but at least some basic values and the courtesy should remain. So Shreyans, we've had a very great conversation so far. So it's time for the rapid fire round. Are you ready?
I'm very slow, but I'll try to do this rapid fire round.
If not sales, what industry would you be in?
Oh, I think I'll be at your place.
Okay, great.
Maybe 2-3 options, because maybe a podcaster, maybe a kind of stand-up comedian, not so great, but at least I'll try that, or maybe RJ or something.
Hard work or luck, what leads to success?
I believe it 100% is hard work, right? If you have a hard work, then only luck will support you. It's not purely luck.
One word that summarizes your leadership style?
I call it a delegative style of leadership. There is another word for laissez phrase leadership. Minimum interference, maximum work and efficiency, minimum level of monitoring, right?
So your go-to way to recharge after a long week?
So I travel a lot. So when I am back, watching memes with my daughter. This may look very different, or so we both try to resonate or match with our preferences. So she watches geopolitics videos with me, right? We both watch Major Gaurav Arya and other videos, and I try to watch memes. So once I'm back, or even I'm on tour, she's just 9-year-old, right? She does know a little bit of WhatsApp and all, or she takes help from her mother. She shares me that meme, Then I'm on tour, instantaneously I will watch that meme and I'll try to. So we both are a meme fan, or like that,
Wow, great. The last question would be, what's your mantra for success?
Successful is me versus me journey, what I was before and what I'm now. I am a dreamer. I like to dream a lot. मैं सपने दिन में भी देखता हूँ, रात को भी देखता हूँ. Successful होने के लिए dream तो करना है, but at the same time you also need to select your dreams. What kind of dreams you want to pursue. You cannot fulfill all that kind of dreams. There are two kind of dreams. So one dream is, you can fulfill it with money, right? These are the easiest dream to fulfill.
Okay.
क्योंकि money के लिए तो आपको loan भी मिलेगा. You can work hard, you can earn money and lot of things. There are some dreams which you want to possess something, like आपको car purchase करना है, घर purchase करना है, bike लेना है, you want to go on a foreign tour, travel, lot of things that can be done with money. So money should not be a restricting factor for you. Those dreams you can fulfill. अगर आज होता है ना, आज ही कर लो. So at least you are out from that particular pleasure. आपको ये नहीं लगेगा कि जब तक मेरा foreign tour नहीं होगा तब तक ये मैं चीज़ नहीं करूँगा. आज ही कर लो. Then you can focus on a bigger dream. Because जब तक वो जर्नी खत्म नहीं होगी ना, वो मोह माया में से जब तक बाहर नहीं आएंगे ना, तब तक आगे नहीं सोच पाएंगे, right? So I always believe कि जो चीज़ है ना ऐसी, वो कर लो. What are other type of dreams? The second type of dreams are the money cannot buy, priceless. I think Visa या Mastercard का जो theme है ना कि it is a priceless. So वो dreams ऐसे हैं कि it is a love, you can say your passion, affection, recognition, kind of awards, anything which gives you happiness, or the kind of any kind of moment which money cannot buy, and you need to literally work a lot to achieve those kind of dreams in your life, and wo dreams zyada important. So for me success is combination of both, the dreams which you can buy from money, the dreams which you pursue, like you want to hire somebody is your dream, right? Ye person agar mere team mein aa jata hai, and the day you fulfill that dream you are the happiest person, because you only know कि अच्छा ये हो गया तो क्या हुआ, ये he is my dream customer, ठीक है? So that money cannot buy all these things. So success for me is a combination of dreaming of these two kinds and balancing both at the different stages of life.
So great to have you as a guest. We've had some amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing your journey as well as your insights. It was an absolute pleasure having you on Meet Momentum Masters. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Shweta. You have been a kind of most beautiful and fantastic host. For me in a podcast, I could spend good amount of time, and again my one more dream got fulfilled, and in that for that I want to give you something as a present, so that it is a very special thing for you. It's a surprise for you, right? So this is something for you. I would be happy that if you can open this in front of me, because there is a very little story attached to it. So it's the keychain which has a crochet, or you can say crocheting.
Yes.
It is recently crafted by my daughter. Her name is Sia. She is just 9 years old, right? She made it for me, and because you made my movement very special, I am thankful to Team Momentum and especially you, that such moments are very rare in my life. So which is something very precious to me. I wanted to gift it to you so that you can remember it for a long time.
Thank you, and all my love to Sia.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I hope you like this episode. If you like the video, hit the like button and share it with your fellow entrepreneur friends. For more such insightful conversations with entrepreneurs and SME enablers, subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more content. Until then, keep the momentum going.